All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome tonight. I tell you what, here we are, Dover Downs, Delaware here. Joe White up here in the booth, OSR Network, man, tonight live on YouTube. I'm up here, and I'm accompanied as always by Ryan W. Daniels. Ryan, how you doing tonight?
Oh, I am doing just absolutely fantastic, Joe. How are you doing this evening?
Man, I'm doing awesome. And I tell you what, we got a lot to talk about here in the next couple weeks. Actually, we're off next week, probably got a fun race and whatnot, but tonight, Dover, a lot of drama happened last season here in the chase at Dover coming down to the wire. But tonight, I don't see it being any different than anything else.
No, neither do I. Last season, you're right. There was a lot of controversy in this race. And obviously, the big difference is this year, the Cup Series race here at Dover is not in the chase. Last season it was, and it played championship implications into helping Jake Nichols win that championship as basically the two dominant cars, Nate Trito and Drew Carroll, got into each other going into turn 3, basically a blocking incident, and took each other out, and I want to say Jake went on to win that race in the chase, and definitely at that point basically solidified his championship chances.
Yeah, pretty much. It was a turning point there. What's going on, everybody in the chat out there? What's going on, Dre? That would be David. What's going on, Becky, Aiden, Justin? If I missed anybody, I apologize. I tell you what, man, tonight, getting down to the nitty-gritty, so to speak, Ryan, as we're getting down to 2 races to go. We got tonight, then we're off next week, week 13 of Iracing nonetheless. And then after that, we're going to the big track of Michigan International Speedway. And then we start the chase off. And I tell you, got a lot to talk about in the chase. I'm going to let you, right now, the 2 guys on the bubble, what are we looking like?
All right, well, the 2 guys on the bubble right now to make the chase are Mike Rominger and Tommy Amassi in his number 05 car. I'm actually pulling up these stats on the website right now. I have them also in front of me, but just to make sure that they're both exactly lined up and that I don't have anything wrong, just going to use that to fall back on. But yes, we've got one driver who is 1 point out of the chase right now, and that is, or I'm sorry, okay, I apologize, I screwed up. The 2 drivers that are in the chase as the final 2 bubble spots are Nick Hunt with 212 points and Mike Rominger with 206. Tommy Amassi is 1 point out of the chase, and Aiden Young is 5 points out of the chase as of right now. So basically, Mike Rominger cannot have a bad race because with Tommy only being 1 point behind him, Tommy basically has to beat Mike by 1 spot over the next 2 weeks, and he could race his way in.
Wow, well, I'll tell you right, Tommy right now is sitting in 16th spot on the grid for qualifying, and most notable tonight, sitting on pole right now, Nate Hard charging Torito, and I tell you, that's a man who has had an up and down season. We could almost say, I mean, he had to have a really disastrous day. We could almost say he's pretty much locked in the chase. Don't want to, officially say it, but we'll say unofficial right now. But and definitely if he wins, it's a done deal. But and he's been close, Ryan. Oh, so close.
Yes, in 32 total ExtremeMotorsports99.com Cup Series starts over the entire course of his extreme career, he has finished second upwards of 5 times, but he has never won a race. And when you make 32 starts against some of the best, and you finish second many times and have the season that he's had so far, that has to be driving Nate crazy. You and I have talked to him all week. We know that he is very confident going into tonight, and it is going to be a big celebration if Nate Trito wins this race tonight. And I actually asked him a very important question last night, to me anyway, and I said, Nate, which would mean more to you? To win one race in Extreme Motorsports 99 or not win a race but win the championship? He said winning a race would be more special than winning a championship, and that's saying a lot. It just goes to show how much Nate has really put into this league and wants this win so badly.
Well, absolutely, and I agree with you on that one. I tell you what, it's prestigious to win a race anywhere, and pretty much for the place that you want to win, which is like what you just said here at ExtremeMotorsports99.com. Tonight we're at Dover Downs, Delaware, folks. I want to appreciate all the viewers out there as always, and 2 races left. Actually, be one right after this one, till the chase starts for the Cup Series. Actually, the chase starts for all series here. Truck Series on Tuesday, Wednesday for the Xfinity. I also want to shout out there, check them out on Tuesday night, Wednesday night here at ExtremeMotorsports99.com. Check out Dre Broadcasting. Those guys doing a great job over there, bringing all the action for the truck and the Xfinity, and holding up the line there. Tonight, me and Ryan, as usual, I like to call him Ryan W. Daniels. He's my statistician there. And Jonathan Shipman out there in the chat, Ryan, has just said he's going to spoil his win tonight. Now, look, we call you Kryptonite. We call you that for a reason. Don't be out there throwing rocks on the track.
Yeah, and if there's a place where I don't want to get in Nate Trito's way, I saw what happened last season from the admin tower, as a matter of fact, for that race. And that was definitely not a move that either one of those drivers wanted to make at the end of that race, but it's certainly not going to be advantageous for Jonathan Shipman to try to spoil Nate Trito's win if he can try to steal one here and get that win and finally not only lock himself in the chase, which he's basically already done, but it just break through and get that win that he's so much longed for here at Extreme Motorsports 99.
Well, absolutely, and I tell you what, you're right. It's going to be interesting. Anything can happen here. It is considered a short track by the size, but to me, it's actually like one of those. It acts like a big track because speeds here are pretty darn high to be such a short track.
Yeah, it is a very fast 1 mile racetrack. And just it does tend to bring a lot of high speeds to that, but one of the issues that Dover does have is how narrow it is, especially off of turn 2, and we'll see a lot of accidents happen there tonight because the track, the way the banking is and the way the cars roll off the corners, it almost like it narrows up, and we will see a lot of side-by-side action there, but we'll also see a lot of guys get into each other, and very likely, if we do have any cautions, that would be one of the places we can probably expect to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, As hey, what's going on, Michelle? What's going on, Glenn? Michael, how you doing? Michael Knight, like we say, the Knight Rider guy out there, got his kit car ready to go here tonight. Let's see where he's at here on the starting grid. Actually, I don't see him out here. So, man, why ain't you out here?
Well, Michael is a standby driver normally,
Yeah,
so
I know
he
they
might
got
have chosen to take the night off.
They might have it. Well, that's true. We didn't. Yeah, that's my. You know, Michelle always comes up here. Do you know Spanish, Ryan?
You're asking the guy who got a D minus and failed every other year for 5 years in high school if I know Spanish.
Hey, I'm just checking.
No, I'm not good with Spanish. I know what she said. She said, hola, amigos, and amigas. That means hello, friends, and amigas is the definition for female friends, so she specified between the two.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I see that Michael not in the field tonight. Matthew Wazenbach out here chit-chatting, talking about the 29 will be wrecking from the back. How do you do that, man?
This is probably accurate. I know Matt doesn't like this track very much.
Well,
as a matter of fact, real quick, Joe, I do need to say this because the fans will get a kick out of this one. I went into the Outlaw Jaeger Racing team last night before their Xfinity Series race just to wish them all luck. And what they said to me was, "Oh, don't be looking for none of us to win because at this track with these cars, there's not a lick of talent in this room." And that was with 4 drivers. And all my response to that was, "Well, if there was no talent in here already, it's even worse now that I'm here. So I'm gonna leave before I jinx you guys and it gets any worse." Come to find out during the race, if I recall, it didn't go very well.
Oh man, well, I'll tell you, that'd be about like me. I'm kind of a I don't know, target or whatever. But nonetheless, hey, we got a lot of viewers out here chatting up a cool breeze. As always, want to give a shout out there to Robert Shipman. Now, is he kin to Jonathan Shipman?
Yes, he is John's grandfather, I think.
Really?
I think we've covered this before.
Yeah, we probably have. Hey, look, I'm old. And, old
guys,
they
wasn't
forget a lot.
I wasn't saying it like, oh, Joe, how can you forget? I'm saying, I would think that we've said that before, but I don't remember.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what. Yeah, hey, look, you got to pray for us dudes, man, getting up in age and whatnot. I'm surrounded by a bunch of young guys here. Well,
yeah,
I tell you,
bunch of young guys and one really good-looking one from New England, I might add.
Oh Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move along now because it's getting deep up here in the booth, and I got nowhere to go. So, nonetheless, we're here at Dover Downs, Delaware tonight. ExtremeMotorsports99.com action. Nate Trito is the man on point. Jonathan Kryptonite Shipman right there on the outside of it. And I tell you what, Ryan, those two guys right there know how to wheel some cars around this track here and get it done.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch all the talent through this field just drive the wheels off these things. And I just noticed a name that I haven't even necessarily seen in the Cup Series this season. Mason Kane. Has he run any of the Cup Series races this year? I know he's been running full-time in the Xfinity Series.
I think he has run maybe one or two, but this might be the first one in a while. But Jonathan Shipman out there, he did we want to welcome, like I say, Robert Shipman out there, the grandfather there of Jonathan Shipman. Awesome to see him out here. What's going on, Andrew Walls, Becky Glenn? Ryan, how much time we got left before we go green flag?
We have 3 minutes and 20 seconds. 2 minutes and 40. No, wait. 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Well, I'll tell you what, time flies when you're having fun up here, chatting up a cool breeze about what's going to happen, all the action here tonight. Got a lot of points implications that are going to happen. We'll be talking about that stuff. Got a lot of things that are going to happen here as far as, the race itself in general. It's going to lead to a heck of a, I think it's going to be a heck of a battle after tonight. And you got your mic on push to talk, Ryan, because it's echoing every once in a while.
I do, actually.
You must be hitting the button.
Do I need to unplug it and plug it back in?
Well, no, it's just every once in a while it's flashing like you got it on non-push to talk.
No, I do, but I'm away from my wheel right now, so I don't know how it would be doing that.
I don't know. Well, we got Spike up in here. We know who that is. Spike Zombie. That's an unusual. I get a trip every time I say that last name, Zombie. And it reminds me. I don't know if you remember this, Ryan, of a song back in the '90s, but I believe it was the Crabtrees, and it actually was called Zombie. And I remember they played it on the late night show one time, and I will never forget the guy in the back. Every time the band came out and started, the guy in the back would go, "Zombie!" And it was just hysterical. You had to be there. But anyways, it was just funny. But hey, welcome Spike, because we know that's who she's pulling for. That would be Mr. Popularity, Tyler Sifford. And as I always like to say, he got that name of being popular because, well, the man's just dead out popular from everybody loves him.
I'm sorry. Hashtag Joeisms.
Gotta love him. Well, it looks like we're about set to go green flag racing, folks. And I tell you, I am getting pumped up here tonight. That's it, Cranberry. Spike knows who I was talking about. Crabtree, Cranberries. I couldn't remember which. Man, look, I told y'all it's getting old. Look, come on. But yeah, Cranberries. Awesome song, by the way. But like I said, we're about ready to get set to go green flag racing tonight here. I mean, I normally would say under the lights, but not tonight. We're at Dover Downs, and it's going to be exciting as we look like now. We're about to grid these cars up here, folks. I'm getting pumped up, Ryan. It's Cup time Thursday night as usual here. It's going to be amazingly exciting. Let's go down the grid of the top 10 here. Tonight's pole winner, Nate Hard charging Trito. And a man outside of him, Jonathan Kryptonite Shipman right there. Trevor Rapolo in third. Mason Kane in fourth. Tyler Ducharme in fifth. And Jake Superman Nichols right there in sixth. Not used to custom seeing him there, but hey. And then there's the Mr. Popular himself, Tyler Sifford in seventh. Christopher Parkman sitting in eighth. And Mike Rominger, we call him Mr. Extreme right there in ninth. Nick Hunt, I tell you what, the old guy. I mean, what do you say? He's just a crafty veteran out here, rounding out the top 10. And Ryan, as we look through all these drivers here, going through the grid, I tell you, each and every one of these guys could pull a victory off tonight. So it's hard to pick which one's going to do it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough. I mean, we're looking further back in the field. David Shutt in the 41 car didn't even set a qualifying time. He's going to start 21st, and we know he's strong when it comes to these short tracks. We were there at Bristol. We know how that race ended. Could we see it again here on a very similar short track to Bristol, maybe a smidgen bigger here at the Monster Mile?
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know how the stream looks. Let us know how the sound looks out there tonight as we're about to take these monster machines, as I like to call them, because these are the Cup Series drivers. This is what it's all about in Extreme Motorsports 99.com. This is the Premier Series, folks. I'm telling you what, these guys make it here. They don't just make it here just to say, hey, look, we're signing up. They make it here because of skill, driving, and definitely we know they can wheel some cars nonetheless. But tonight, I don't know. I'm looking for an exciting race.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be exciting. We actually have a last-minute entry here that I'm looking through the field. The number 49 of Nathan Shiflett is going to start dead last in that machine. That is actually one of the Outlaw Racing drivers, making him one of the Outlaw Jaeger Racing drivers here at ExtremeMotorsports99.com. So for a different set of circumstances tonight, it would seem that Matthew Walzenbach has his teammate from the Xfinity Series running with him here in the Cup.
Well, absolutely. His lights on that pace car, taking these machines around this mile. I think it's a little over a mile track, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, the Monster Mile. It is a mile-long racetrack here at Dover.
Absolutely. Right now, pace car's off. We're about to set to go green flag racing. Folks, I tell you what, Nate Trito wasted no time pulling out front there, going into turn one, trying to separate himself away from the pack as these guys are stacked up too deep behind him.
Yes, he did on that initial start there. Nate Trito fired it right out of the cannon, right off the start, showing, hey, I've waited all week for this race. I feel like I can win tonight. He wants to make a statement here. He's going to lead lap 1, give himself a bonus point early on. Again, this is Nate Trito's 33rd Cup Series start here at Extreme Motorsports 99. Past Xfinity Series champion. Won a couple times in the trucks as well. He wants this bad, but you know that the driver right behind him, Kryptonite, John Shipman, has already made it known he's going to try to spoil the party for number 97.
Well, yes, he is, and right now he's trying to lurk down that number 97 machine and trying to run him down a little bit here. Here, holding pace a little bit up front, but if you look right behind him, he's got Mason Kane right there in that number 32 machine looking there, and look who's popped in up there in the 4th spot. As always, sneaking up there, Mr. Superman himself, Jake Nichols.
Yeah, Jake Nichols already working their way up, and we do have a caution out. I'm going to try to find out who it was. Looks like the 17 of Alan Westman was involved, and it may have started in front of him.
Well, let me go to 17, and we'll just rewind it back from there and see what happens here as we're watching the replay, folks. Number 17, Alan Westman back here as we're watching the replay, and you're right, it starts in front of him, and he just gets on the apron and does a heck of a slide job, tried to hold on to it, and then it just got away from him. That's another thing we ain't talked about, Ryan. We get to talk about it a little bit here, is the fact that the apron here, you get down on it, it can upset that car very, very quickly.
Yeah, it can, and I just took a look. It actually started with the number 8 car of Chris Parkman up ahead. Looks like Chris might have just got a little bit loose on top of the racetrack and going into turn 1.
Oh, boy, I tell you what, did you just see that fake job that Jonathan Shipman did on Mason Kane? Jonathan went to go like he was going into pits, folks, and we were watching it, and he came back on the track at the last second. Mason Kane followed him and was unable and ran right into the barrels trying to get back on the track. Heck of a dang jockeying move right there by Jonathan Shipman.
Yeah, good move by Jonathan. I'm taking a look at that now just for my own references because that was pretty impressive. That was a great fake, looking a lot like Kyle Busch right there, making it work at the last second. However, that sucks for the 32, though.
Yeah, it was.
Just definitely didn't anticipate him doing that and just ran right into those barrels. I was about to say, I didn't realize where the commitment line was here at Dover. I thought it was that initial white line, so I, for a moment, thought that that wasn't going to work for the number 23 car, but it does appear that the commitment line is once you get past that those pit barrels.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm not sure about that, but just running through this field right here and looking at some of these awesome paint jobs as always. Definitely checking out any of these guys. And I tell you what, hey, man, I want to appreciate all the viewers. Hey, what's going on? You know, that's Rick out there talking, man. That's Rick Donathan, ExtremeMotorsports99.com owner himself here. So we're lap 5 of 220. And looks like just a little bit of contact in the back. No harm, no foul, really. So we'll get this thing back underway and get going again.
Yeah, the only two guys that really actually suffered pretty bad from that crash, well, the 3 cars actually, would have been the 8 car of Chris Parkman, the 17 of Alan Westman, who obviously got quite tore up, and Aiden Young, who actually T-boned the number 8 as he spun down the track with nowhere to go. All 3 have already had to use their fast repair so early in this race. That is going to be very difficult if one of them gets into another severe accident again.
Absolutely. Lights off on the pace car. About set to go back green flag. Racing again, folks, here. As they're heading down the back stretch, it's going to be, hey, these guys got fanned out pretty good that first time. We'll see what happens this time.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it. I mean, we saw these guys get spread out off the initial start, and that accident didn't necessarily happen because of contact between 2 cars. Someone just got loose getting to the corner, and there was just nowhere to go. But it definitely appeared early on in this race that these guys are able to spread out, and looks like they're going to be ready to go as we're coming back to the restart, Joe.
There we are. Pace car takes a hard left turn on pit road. Sends these monster machines are flying. Take a Nate Trito again. Jumps out there very hard. Jake Nichols coming on the inside. Jonathan Kryptonite. We know them two all too well. Are going to battle each other, man, door to door and wheel to wheel as they are side by side coming down the back stretch.
Yes, they are. They're side by side, and just behind them, obviously, we have the 2 Solar Flare Racing teammates of Jake Nichols now getting around the 23 and the 7 car just behind Jonathan Shipman, so you know they want nothing more than to get all 3 of these Solar Flare cars up 1, 2, 3 so early in this race here at Dover. But it looks like Tyler's actually going to get put to the high side and fall back. lose a couple more spots back there.
Well, I don't know. Right now, he's battling back really hard on the outside there, Ryan, with the Trevor Rapolo. That would be in the number 9. Now, Rapolo definitely needs a heck of a finish here to lock himself into that chase. He's another one of those drivers. But right now, we know also well the number 54, Delonte Ballard. He is coming to the front, coming in a hurry.
Well, it's interesting to note here, of the top 5 drivers, 4 of them have won a race already, so they basically know they're in. The only guy that's really in trouble necessarily, and it's not by too much trouble, is Trevor Rapolo. He is the only one still at risk who could fall out of the top 20 that has already won a race into the chase. So as long as Trevor has a good night tonight, he all but locks himself in as well, making it all the harder for somebody like, for example, Mike Rominger to try to hang on to that spot when you have guys like Aiden Young and Tommy Amassi breathing down your neck trying to race their way into the chase.
Absolutely. Right now, John Houston right there pulling that number 88 machine up into 7th. We've seen him come on strong here in the past couple weeks. And Tyler Ducharme right there behind him. Haven't seen him in a while, but that's another one there that possibly if he gets the minimum cutoff, he could actually make it into the chase here himself.
Yes, he could. I'm not sure how many races that the number 25 has missed, but as long as you make 8 of the 10 starts here at ExtremeMotorsports99.com, you are chase eligible. So if Tyler has only missed 2 races, which, as I said, I'm not sure if he has or has not, and he's still in the top 20 in points, he obviously still has that win from Daytona. So Tyler could definitely still race his way in. But if he is not met the minimum requirements, he is eliminated. If he has, then he definitely has to start racing hard to get back in the top 20, because I do believe he fell out.
Yeah, he does right now. Looking at David Shutt back in 12th, and actually there's the old veteran himself again, Vern Bradley right there in 13th, and he's got Nick Hunt behind him. So just kind of going through this field here, Ryan, as they're all spread out single file right now, being very respectful to each other here. As you know, this track here can jump out and bite you with this car.
Yes, it can. I've unfortunately, not so much unfortunately, but I've never had the privilege of racing here in a Cup car. As we mentioned a little bit earlier in the race, I decided last season after the Talladega race that would be my last Cup start, and I decided I was going to jump up in the booth and actually help Don Kidder and Rick Donathan call one of these races. And my first one was here at Dover. Man, I wish that I had known what I was getting myself into that night, because that was stressful. We talk about the job that those guys have each and every week. When we've got a crash of it too. It's the 88 of Jonathan Houston.
Yeah, it is 88 of John Houston. There was seeing it, but let's go back on the replay and see exactly what happened to John Houston there, as he was running right there near Tyler Ducharme and running near Tyler Sippard there. Let's see if let me see if the apron just snapped down and bit him. We're watching the replay right now. He goes on the inside of Tyler. Yep, and that's exactly. I'm gonna tell you what, that is textbook Dover right there, Ryan. You get there on the inside and you think you got it locked up. Guess what? That car in the rear end just starts to come right out from under you, and it's going to bite you. Nonetheless, I mean, hey, I don't know. This place is very, very tricky.
Yeah, it's very tough. It looks like the 88 actually got a big run on the number 7 as they were coming out of turn 2. Maybe got a little bit low, hit that apron just a touch, and had to check up just a smidge. Tyler Ducharme was all over the back of the 88, had no choice but to just get into the back of him. He just wasn't anticipating the 88 slowing up in that part of the corner, and that's what sent the 88 around.
Yeah, it is. Right now we got pit stops going here. Everybody's down. Got to get 4 tires and fuel here. These guys are definitely probably begging their crew chiefs and crewmen, saying, hey, look, man, I need a pair of Goodyears here. Put them on because I want to get and stay back up front. The man up front, though, who has been dominating so far, Nate Hard-Charging Trito, desperately wants that win. He is like, look, man, I can make a highlight reel so far this season, and it's just one of those that I don't want to make.
Yeah, and we're going to be on this subject all night because we know what it means to that 97. We've heard it all season and how big of a deal it was, and I feel like last week was really the turning point for Nate Trito. He was so close at Phoenix again, kind of like he was back at Charlotte and numerous other tracks this time this year. He keeps putting himself in the right position. He leads a ton of laps, and at the very end of the race, either something happens, he runs out of fuel, newer tires get the better of him, stuff like that. It just has not gone his way. But tonight, it's a short track. It's somewhere Nate Trito, this place, Dover International Speedway, is, in his own words, his bread and butter. He loves to run here at Dover and cannot wait to try to get the win in this race.
Yeah, well, I think right now, well, I want to appreciate all the viewers out there right now. Let me know how the sound sounds between me and Ryan, how everything, the audio and everything looks, or how the video looks, and how the audio sounds and all the stream. Definitely love hearing the feedback from all the viewers. Want to welcome, I'm going to say this right, is that Latchlin? I hope I said that right out in the chat. And want to welcome, obviously, Robert's out there talking up Cool Breeze. Mark Newland. Want to appreciate y'all being out there. Definitely I try to hit up everybody that is there, but it looks like Jonathan Shipman is very slow for some reason. He must have had a speeding penalty on pit road.
Jonathan Shipman, you said?
Yeah, because he's falling back to the back for some reason. I believe he might have got a speeding penalty on pit road.
Yeah, he had to have. If he went all the way that far back, it is very highly likely that he did, in fact, get a speeding penalty. And looking at the front of that 23, he's got a little bit of nose damage on that car.
That's what it looked like. It looked like it kind of plunged in like a little pug dog there, but I don't know. But I know he was letting everybody by. Must have been a black flag or something on speeding on pit road. Nonetheless, we're 2x2 back up here again. Now, I noticed something else. Tommy Amassi stayed out there and led some laps. Very smart on his end, being as far back as he is, because they could be valuable bonus points, Ryan.
It could be, but unfortunately, by our count, here he is not going to get credited with leading a lap.
Oh, really?
Yeah, what happened was when he stayed out, he was so far back that the number 97 was ahead of him by the time the 97 got on past the start-finish line on the pit road. Tommy couldn't get by him in time and was technically scored in 5th. And then Tommy had to come in the next time by, otherwise he would not be able to pit under caution. And when he did, the 97 got back ahead of him again when Tommy came in. So he tried his best, did everything he could, but it just wasn't quite enough. So Tommy, I would expect to see that all night from Tommy Amassi, because if he can put himself in the right spot, get one bonus point, hey, that's one bonus point. He gets in the chase, and something happens to Mike Romanger, that could be 1 point in, and Mike could be 1 point out.
All right, well, let me know how that audio sounds there. Cranked up the background noise just a little bit. Sometimes the camera angles are a little bit what they are, but pace cars take the hard left turn on the pit road, and like I like to say, the monster machines are gone. And I'm going to tell you what, Nate Trito, if he keeps doing that all night long, might be the man on point to take this thing to victory lane, because he is shooting out there. But here comes Superman flying in the wind. They are stacked up behind them too deep.
Yeah, run 2x2 all the way through the back right now, behind the top 3, that is. And, we keep mentioning the 97. Let's not forget, it was Jake Nichols that won this race last season in the chase. So Jake does know how to win here. Now, albeit it took the 97 and the 26 getting involved in a late race wreck to have that happen. But nonetheless, Jake has won here. And this is Jake Nichols. He don't matter if it's his teammate, if it's his best friend, whoever. If he has an opportunity to win this race, he's going to try to do it. And he'd love nothing more than to still be the one that gets to say, hey, y'all want to win here, Nate? I've done it almost 10 times. You ain't done it once, and over the quadruple the starts that I have.
Well, I don't really get into all that, but I tell you what, right now, Jake Nichols says, hey, look, we might be teammates, and the caution's out on the track again.
Yes, it is, and it's the number 29 and the 05 of Tommy and Massey are involved, and it looks like it definitely happened in front of them. So it looks like Matt Walzenbach's prediction of an accident happening at the back of the pack would definitely be the case, and it looks like it may have involved or started with the number 87 of Chris Hurlow entering turn 1.
Well, I'm watching 29 right now. Let's let all the viewers, pile up. Got Aiden Young, Nick Hunt, 05. I mean, a lot of cars involved. Actually, let me go to Nick Hunt, because he was up there involved earlier than the 29, so maybe we'll get a better idea of what happened there. As Aiden Young, the front of his car's all bashed in at this point, but let's see. So we're riding along with Nick Hunt right here, maybe just see what might have happened in front of them. Well, yep, it happened in front of them with the 87, and again, wow, hate to say it out there, because I know I know we call number 7 Mr. Popular, but tonight Jonathan Shipman's popular. The problem is he's having a few troubles here at Dover and then was involved in that wreck. As we're watching this replay again, Ryan, looks like he's going inside and still going good. I'm just wondering if that hump on that turn maybe jumped out and bit him a little bit here as we're watching. Nope. Oh, wow. Unfortunate. Just nowhere to go. The 87 in front of him spun, and he had nowhere to go. Wow.
Yes, he did, and we know. And I will note that both Christopher Hurlow, who got in here really late and then just had that accident, and Rusty Farrell have manually disconnected.
Oh, man, I hate to see that. I tell you, hate to see any competitors out here have any trouble, but nonetheless, lap 24 of 220 tonight. These guys are in a dogfight here at Dover Downs. It's 2 races to go before the chase, and these guys know it. The guys up front, Nate Trito, he says, look, I might be locked in at points, but I want that definite lock as a win here tonight, and to know that, look, I cement my legacy here at ExtremeMotorsports99.com, and the guy on the outside there, you might call him Superman, but look, they don't call me hard charging for nothing, and I'm going to charge right by him all night long. Now, look, I will say this, Ryan. 73's got a new sponsor. They call it Solar Flare. Well, we got the hard charger right there with Solar Flare. Which one of these guys are actually going to put on a bright spot brighter than the other one tonight?
If you're asking me who's going to win the race, that is way too early and too tough for me to try to make a call.
No, come on, man. Be a little bit of gambling there. I tell you what, nonetheless, these guys. But, hey, I'm going to go ahead and make my prediction because I see somebody lurking behind them. And we know all too well what he can do in that number 54 machine. That is Delonte Ballard. I'm going to tell you what, that man gets up there and beats to another drum because when he gets there, he goes, look, I don't care about Solar Flare, Superman, or hard charging. I'm here to win, period. And I know how to, and I'm not scared of Jake Nichols Racing. So, he's got that Toyota SRA. He could spoil the show tonight.
Yes, he could, and you're mentioning SRA. I had thought that I had been missing somebody in this field, and this was going to be enormous in the championship. The number 99 of Bobby Chaney, basically all he had to do was the same thing as Nate Trito. He had to start tonight and could have locked himself in. Bobby Chaney is not here. That means that he is going to score no points in a race with 25 drivers. That is going to bring the guys who are on the bubble, or at least guys going into next week that have the possibility of falling out of the top 10, up from maybe about 4 or 5 to 6 or 7 without Bobby being here.
Oh, wow. We didn't recognize that. Appreciate you bringing it. Hey, look, that's why I give Ryan the statistician job. Now, I'll wait till we go green flag to saw the poke that I just got from the owner here and let everybody know about that because we're about to go back green flag here. We're on the back stretch. Going to send these machines flying around here, and it's going to be awesome. Okay.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I'm getting a poke from Rick, so I definitely will as soon as we go green flag here, let you know what he's saying. But nonetheless, this race has been one heck of an exciting one so far and a lot of drama left. Ryan,
yeah,
I'll let you do the green flag. Go for it.
Alrighty, well, we got the number 97 and the 73 rolling through. The pace car, as you say, makes a hard left turn. Waiting on that jump by the 97. He always likes to get those 2 cars. Actually, the 73 is going to hold with him. They're going to be side by side going into turn 1. Nate Trito gets a good restart there with his teammate Jake Nichols to his outside, putting a little bit of distance over Delonte Ballard and everybody else behind them as they all try to get single file coming through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, they do, and they are their nose to tail up to the top 3 and 4 right there, but the 2 deep behind them. Trevor Rapolo is doing everything he can. He knows he's got to stay in that top spot up there. Now, your man, Justin Gable, making a hard charge to the front up there in the number 13 machine as he pulls it up in the top 5.
Yes, he has that different-looking orange Chevrolet for Justin Gable. We're used to seeing him in that pink Taylor Swift Ford Fusion. And speaking of Justin Gable in the 13, I just saw in the chat Nicholas Corsell, I think it's how you say it. Nicholas Corso in our chat has informed me that Bobby Chaney is at an NXT event, so very lucky.
Well, he's out there doing some body slams, and he's probably going to try to come back here, Watkins Glen, and do a few clotheslines here in that car to try to make it to the chase. But now let's get back to what I was saying here before the green flag. I got a message here from the owner, Rick Donathan, of the league here, and basically some unfortunate news, I guess. But this is what this league is about when I announce this here, folks. This right here is the kind of league that they run at ExtremeMotorsports99.com. It is a very rules-oriented, and they try to run a very tight ship nonetheless here. And they want very respectful drivers and just good racing, hard racing amongst guys. So the announcement right now, Herlo, that would be Christopher Herlo if I'm not mistaken, has been removed from the league, and an announcement of bad sportsmanship. With that, it's in the rule book, folks. So I mean, hey, it's not a surprise or anything like that. It's there. So just unfortunate on his end, but nonetheless, you gotta follow the rules, and that's the kind of things they like here, Ryan. The sportsmanship, good, hard charging racing.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate that that happened, but rules are rules, and if you're gonna break them, then you're gonna pay the consequences at some point. So definitely unfortunate to hear that on the part of the 87, but gotta roll on. The show must continue, and even if we don't have the Cannonball Chris Hurlo here, the races are just gonna have to continue on.
Oh, absolutely. And right now, we've got a heck of a race here. Trevor Rapolo sitting in 7th, but right behind him, we got Mr. Extreme himself there, Mike Rominger, as you coined the phrase the other week or so, that he's got his hands full with a nightmare beside of him. And I tell you what, you might say Mr. Extreme is Mike right there. He's got a nightmare in his rear view going, wait a minute, is that considered an extreme nightmare?
I suppose the two of them running together, yes, would be called the Extreme Nightmare. But, I mean, hey, you've said it before, he'll say it again. Mike Rominger ain't afraid. It's daytime. Nightmares only come out at night. So he ain't got too much to be afraid of. I don't think of David Shutt in that 41 car. But, Mike, we were talking about Bobby Chaney not being here. This is huge for Mike Rominger. He only had that 1 point advantage over Tommy and Massey. This is exactly what he needed, was for somebody up or higher in the points to not be there, try to put another car between him and some of these other guys trying to race their way in.
Well, absolutely. I'll tell you what, they're stacked. Look at Mason Kane power that car in there. He said, I don't care about extreme and nightmares. I'm coming up in here. I'm Mason Kane. And I'm going to tell you what, I put it up front for a reason. I can drive this track, and I can drive this car. Might not have been here all alone, but I'm going to show these guys that I can win.
Yeah, and actually it looked like Mason Kane was actually getting passed by these guys. I was nervous they were going to go 3 wide coming out of 2 that last time. That was really close. As we see, both the 32 and the 41 are going to make the pass now on the 4 car. Mike Rominger is going to get kicked to the top lane. He's now going to be under pressure from the 25, Tyler Ducharme, as they come out of turn 4.
Well, the one thing we know about the number 4, Mike Rominger, besides the fact that he is just a man of very few words, you get him up here, he's very silent, don't say a lot. But when he gets behind that wheel, you can definitely tell it. But he's very calculated. He's very calm, cool, and collected till the closing laps. So he definitely knows how to get it done. A veteran here at ExtremeMotorsports99.com and past champion of series here.
Yeah, you just talk about Mike Rominger. We could go on and on of the accomplishments he's had here at Extreme Motorsports 99, but we've done that a lot this season, so we'll save the fans the expense of listening to us ramble about one of the better drivers and one of the greatest of all time here at Extreme Motorsports 99 again.
I hear that. Well, right now, David Shutt's all over the back end door there, or Trevor Rapolo, as they head off into the turn there. The number 9 machine knows that he has to finish very well tonight, Ryan, in order to get it done. But I tell you what, Mason Kane right there, he's got a bullet under the hood of that machine, and he is showing it.
Yeah, he is. He's pushing that car really, really hard, trying to make his way through this field, trying to get to that lead or be at least up with the lead group.
Yeah, he does right now. David Shutt looking on the inside, might make that pass on the number 9 as he does clear him in the inside at SRA boys. I'm going to tell you what, they are the new kids on the block here at ExtremeMotorsports99.com, and they have shown it all season long. They have both got wins here. They've both been able to bring those machines to the front, and it's definitely showing the talent that they have. So Jake Nichols Racing is definitely, what's the word I'm looking for? They're on notice. There you go to this team because we've seen it, Ryan, all season long. They have come to the front.
Yeah, they are. They're definitely aware of that SRA team. They're definitely aware of a lot of the other teams here as well. Like, not to take anything away from some of these guys. And I'm just taking a look through the field here, just giving out some names of note that are not here tonight that could have played a factor in this championship. We mentioned it. There's only that there's only 24 cars that took the green flag, including the 87 of Chris Hurlow. And some of the guys that are notable that we're missing tonight, for example, is Richie Evans. Cameron Hearn in the 67 is not here. Obviously, the 99 of Bobby Chaney.
Well, yeah, is there anybody maybe in that points implications that besides Bobby Chaney we know that is not here right now that really can be affected by this race?
I do believe Cameron Hearn was one of the ones that could race his way in if he wasn't already in the top 10. Let me take a look at the points. Let me pull it up here. Let me take a look, see.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm watching this battle. Tyler, Mr. Popularity Sifford himself, is trying to hold off the Nightmare. And I tell you what, David Shutt's like, look, man, I'm going to give you Popularity and all you darn fans out there at Nightmare that they'll never, ever forget as the 41 comes off that turn sideways and he dives to the inside of the 7.
Is Michael Muller in the field tonight, Joe?
Yes, he is. Michael R. Muller sure is sitting at number 17th right now.
Okay, then the only driver in the top 15 that is not here tonight is Bobby Chaney.
Okay.
And wow. Tyler Ducharme will not be able to make the chase, no matter what, because I just looked, his starts are only 4. So this being only his 5th start, he cannot make the chase no matter what happens.
Well, I hate to see that because he is a winner so far, but nonetheless, we were watching that 41, David Shutt here, come through those stack of cars. Now, when he came off the turn, he caught the wall, and I'm going to say he got the it would be Darlington stripe, but it's the Dover stripe. How's that?
Yeah, Miles the Monster reached out and grabbed the side of that car and gave him a little bit of a punch, if you don't mind my saying.
Yes, he did. I tell you what, you got Miles the Monster and Nightmare Shutt. Hey, they make a darn awesome couple because tonight, so far, he's been able to pull that car up in the 4th place. He's right behind his teammate. He's quite a bit of ways behind the teammate there. But nonetheless, up front, we got a new leader. And guess who? Jake Nichols.
And what a move it was to get that lead right there. Used the lapped car of Matt Walzenbach in the 29 as a pick. Took it 3 wide with his teammate Nate Treater going into 1 and made that pass. What a move by Jake Nichols.
Yeah, he did. I'm watching the replay right now to show the folks. I tell you what, man, I don't know how happy Nate Treater probably was by that move right there, but nonetheless, he got it done. Dove it on his head. Now, I told these guys, we saw last week at Phoenix, Nichols was behind Nate Treater there at the closing laps, and he tried to dive on the inside, and it looked like Treater took the line away from him. So maybe that's what he was trying to do there. I think Jake understands that now, unlike last season, he has a lot of competition coming after him going into this chase. And I've talked with him. Yeah, sure, he's very confident and very, he knows how to drive and whatnot. But he knows that he's got a lot of guys out here that can beat him. And he's having to drive a little more aggressive than what he used to. He probably won't tell us that, but we can see it on the track. It's just a lot different persona. That's the word right there that we see week in and week out.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing just these different guys that are running up at the front, and it's making, Jake Nichols have to race differently. We saw last year, we kind of saw the original Jake Nichols, I would say, last year. The guy who loaded in, pretty much well knew that with the talent level by mid-season that he could pretty much just dominate the majority of the races and would come in, kick everybody's butt, and go home. This year, not the case. With the upgraded cars, the way the Toyota camp has brought some equipment to the tracks this year, and just the level of talent that has gone up in this series, it has made it a heck of a lot tougher. And that's not taking anything away from the Chevrolet drivers, but we've seen a lot more. Oh wow, that the 97 got loose off of turn 4 there. Sorry about that, but yeah, definitely seeing an upgrade in how these guys race this season.
Yeah, it is, and I tell you what, you said the 97 getting loose right there. That's going to bring that man behind him, Delonte Ballard, who definitely has pulled off a win here. He is locked in that chase nonetheless. So Nate Trito definitely does not. The last thing he wants to do is wreck that car. So even though if he might not be, I know he wants to win. I mean, I know it's hard to set on wanting to win, but got to look at that big picture at the end. You got to get into that chase, and I'm gonna tell you, if he can just hang on, he's pretty much in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we said, all the 97 basically had to do was take the green flag tonight and he'd be in. Same thing with the 99, but with the 99 missing tonight, that's now the polar opposite situation for him. But, you know, great. Now the 97's in the chase. You know what that means for Nate now? That means now I can wreck the next 2 weeks trying to win a race and I'm still going to make it. So if you thought Nate Trita was going to push, you know, as hard as he was early in the season, he said he wants this win before the chase. He wants a win, period, but he wants it before the chase. He doesn't want to make it in by points. He you know, who cares about that? He made it in on points last year at Phoenix. This year, he wants to go from making it in on points to making it in, saying, hey, not only did I make it in on points, I won a race, and I'm just as good as my teammate, and I'm going to be right up his throat for this championship in the Final 5.
Oh, absolutely, and I tell you, I agree with you on that one. As I'm going through the field here a little bit back here in the 10th, 11th spot, the man we was talking to beginning of the race here, Jason Van Cleek. He's a newcomer here to the series of ExtremeMotorsports99.com, but definitely showing, hey, I can wheel the cup car around here. And right now, up underneath the number 4, Mr. Extreme himself, Mike Rominger, looking like he's going to put it in the top 10.
Yeah, he is. He's going to put it in the top 10 there, getting around Mike Rominger. Jason Van Cleek is one of the guys we race with on Tuesday nights over at the Truck Series. Runs over there, and he has had a very decent season here in the Cup car. He could still make the chase here as well, Joe. He's had a couple good runs in that 22 machine, and his odds are not very high that he'll make it, but if things fall the right way, he definitely could. Somebody right now, for example, who's not having the night he wanted is Aiden Young in the 09. He was only 5 points out of the chase behind Mike Rominger. He's been involved in 2 big accidents very early in this race and finds himself 2 laps down with Nick Hunt, Tommy Amassey, Jonathan Shipman, Matt Walzenbach also 2 laps or 1 lap down in front of him. So Aiden's night has gone from a potential of trying to, you know, point his way in tonight and just have to continue racing next week to now next week he is going to have to work his tail off to try to make that race, to try to make the chase.
Well, yes, he is. And I tell you what, I got some interesting thing out there. I'm noticing the chat. Nicholas out there is letting us know real quick that he is an SRA fan club member here, and he's got his card out flashing around everybody in the stand saying, look, I am VIP right here, because he just said 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, all SRA drivers, and he is 100% right on that, as these boys have come here to Dover with some heck of a machines and said, look, y'all might talk about Jake Nichols racing, you might talk about the Kryptonite, you might talk about Mr. Extreme and all the other drivers, but we're here in ExtremeMotorsports99.com to show you what SRA and most notably what Toyota can do here in the Cup Series.
Yeah, as we know, the SRA camp runs all the different brands with themselves. We've seen them all, whether they've been in Fords or Chevys or Toyotas all season long. But 2 of their top performers this season, David Shutt and Delonte Ballard, already getting wins, locking themselves into the chase for Toyota. And as we're actually seeing pit stops ongoing, as Jake Nichols is going to come to the pits, he may have sped in that 73 machine.
Well, let's look, and we'll watch him do his pit stop right here just to see if he has to hold up. Nate Trito's coming along with him. We know they're teammates there at Solar Flare Racing, Jake Nichols and all. So That's a good one. Also, Tyler Sifford amongst the ones being teammates here as we're seeing green flag pit stops, folks. Lap 66 of 220. Tell you, they are clicking them up and knocking them down lap-wise. So let's see if he gets held up here like you just said. Want to give a shout-out to all the viewers out there. Waylon, T, Spike, Nichols, Michael, what's going on out there? And I tell you what, oh, and yellow flag's out.
Uh-oh.
But I'm going to tell you what, that's going to benefit Nate and Jake.
Yes, it is. And Jake did not get held, and they did get those pit stops completed. That means Jake is not going to have to come in, and a lot of these waiver rounds are not going to get their laps back.
Wow, I tell you what a mix-up here. So, let's see who brought out that caution.
Yeah, we'll take a look. I'm going to start searching through the field here, kind of rewinding just to see if I can see any smoke.
And by the way, what's going on, T? How you doing? I just saw you was out there. Hey, it's some good green flag racing. You're right, Nicholas, I tell you. And that's what it's about. I'll tell you what, Dover can be a very tight, hard track to get off the turns, and it can be tricky because it has a bump to it. And boom, it could just jump right out and get you.
Yeah, it can be, and I'll be honest, I'm having trouble finding this caution.
Yeah, that one I didn't see because I was focusing on the what's called. But I'll tell you what, just by looking at my chart here, Ryan, from 11th all the way back, they look like they're going to be a lap down and whatnot.
Yeah, they are, and I've done multiple laps around this track on board of some of these cars. I can't see what brought out the caution, so I don't know what happened, unfortunately.
Yeah, no doubt. I tell you what, right now that shuffled around. Delonte Ballard showing as your leader up there. Nick Hunt right behind him. Jonathan Shipman there, actually not having the night that he was looking for at first. But and then Tommy and Massey. Man, I tell you what, if he could come out of here with an awesome finish, that would be very respectable on his end.
Yeah, it would, and actually, it's very interesting to mention here, Nick Hunt was actually the leader at the time of caution by less than 1,000th of a second over Jake Nichols when the caution line turned on and Jake was coming out of the pit lane. They were so close on the track, it didn't even register as 1,000th in Iracing. It was a tie, basically.
Well, I tell you what, so I'm showing Jake Nichols right behind the pace car, so I'm going to say that he's probably going to get a wave around. I think that's probably how that's going to work.
I don't believe so. Tommy Massey and Nick Hunt both pitted. The traffic has not cycled around yet. Delonte Ballard is now pitting, so Jake is going to be the first car that did not have to pit. So Jake will be the leader, but there will be no wave arounds because every other wave around is behind these two leaders. That's what I was trying to mention before, was that because Jake and Nate were able to get their service completed and get back on the track, there was no lapped cars that were in front of them on this. So the lapped cars have to be in front of the leaders for the wave around to work. And because these two don't have to pit, we're going to have everybody from 14th all the way on back, one lap down at minimum.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, a lot of scenarios happen here. This caution kind of, kind of jumbled up the field a little bit for us folks here, but nonetheless, lap 69 of 220 in the books tonight, and it has been extremely exciting. And I tell you what, Rick Donington out there, as always, pumping up the crowd, getting these guys on their feet here, and it's going to be exciting. And, well, Rick has joined us up here in the booth. What's going on, Rick? How you doing?
What's up, guys? Hey, I just thought maybe I'd jump here right quick while we're under caution. Just want to say hey to all the fellow viewers out there, people that's always showing up and coming over and rooting these guys on, Joe. I tell you, it's great to see these names. I tell you, Joe, I just put in a message there. I want to give away something tonight to some of our viewers out there. And tonight, what I want to do, I want to give away a poster, an ExtremeMotorsports99.com poster. Am I able to put a link down in there?
You are. You're still an admin in the chat, so you have full control to do that.
Fantastic. Folks, click on that right there. I'm going to give away a poster tonight. Who wants a free poster tonight? Because I've got a question I'm going to throw at you, and it's going to be an easy one. But we're going to see who the first person that comes up with the answer, Joe. You and Ryan are going to have to keep track on who's going to win this thing.
All right, sounds good. Well, I'll tell you what, they're in the green flag right now, and Mr. Nick Hunt himself right there storms out front. He's got that one hair flying out the wind, Nick, and he's got under pressure by Delonte Ballard.
Don't want to disturb you guys while we go back to green flag racing, but I tell you what, Nick Hunt up there in the front battling it out. We'll have to see what he does. Jonathan Shipman up there up front there, Joe. But the big question is, when did ExtremeMotorsports99.com first establish? I need to know the month and the year when ExtremeMotorsports99.com was established. And I tell you what, folks, the answer's out there somewhere. Can't tell you that. But, Joe, whoever comes up with the right answer, make sure to send them a private message there, get their address. That way we can ship them out a poster for ExtremeMotorsports99.com.
All right, that sounds awesome. And I tell you what, I know my statistician there, Ryan W. Daniels, is probably already going to look that up and know the answer of it. But nonetheless, y'all heard it first. Rick Donovan, when was ExtremeMotorsports99.com established? Need to know the month and the year. So, started clicking, folks.
And I'm actually now distracted from it because I'm trying to look it up, and I have people answering. I'm trying to keep it down on a piece of paper so that I don't miss one. This is not going to be easy now.
Who is Pioneer 1316?
I think we got a winner. Bam, he hit that right off
Pioneer
that.
1316 is going to get a poster shipped to his front door, Joe.
Yes, he is. I saw that in the chat. I said, I saw the answer you gave me. Then I saw him pop that up there, Rick. So nonetheless, a winner tonight. Man, that's awesome.
All right. Well, I tell you what. You send him a private message. Get his information for me, Joe. We'll get him a poster sent out. He, she, don't know what it is, but Pioneer 1316 is going to win a free poster. And I tell you what, folks. I'm doing some things right now, and we got lots of more stuff that's coming, so make sure to tune in from week to week, and that way to get some of this Extreme Motorsports 99.com gear, because you guys out there watching means a lot to us, and it means a lot to these guys in the broadcast booth. Dre Broadcasting, we're going to be doing the same thing with them, Joe. We're going to be giving some free stuff away, and we're going to get these viewers involved with us over here.
Absolutely. That is awesome. I tell you what, we will get that for you, Rick. Man, I appreciate, as always, coming up here in the booth with us. And these people are pumped up and excited for the awesome racing. And these guys have definitely put on a show here. Ryan, I tell you, that is awesome. So, yeah, Pioneer, if you can, somehow send me a message, because Pioneer, if I'm not mistaken, I should know who you are.
I believe Pioneer 1316, if I'm not mistaken, is Ethan Kurtz,
the
driver in the Xfinity Series.
You know what? I believe you're right, and I think he's tweeted, I call it tweeter, has tweeted me before. So nonetheless, like I said, awesome, I tell you. But nonetheless, Pioneer, if you will, hey, shoot me a message over YouTube, your name and your address, and we will definitely get that poster out to you, man. And hey, like what Rick Donathan just said, each and every week and coming the next season, not only us here at OSR Network live on the Thursday night, but Dre Broadcasting there, David and company, man, there on Tuesday and Wednesday. And like we said last week, Ryan, awesome news coming for next week or next month. Darn, I'm all tongue-tied. Next season here at Extreme Motorsports, as we've got Dre's going to be covering the K&N and the Truck Series. And myself and you here at OSR Network will be covering the Xfinity and the Cup on Wednesday and Thursday. So exciting things are about to happen.
Yeah, and some even more exciting stuff. We just saw Rick give away that poster. I do want to take this time to let everybody know, if you're a fan of Joe and I here on OSR, or a fan of just watching us race as well, I am working on, in my spare time, some designs and stuff for some t-shirts and hats for both OSR Network and some Iceman Motorsports race team shirts and hats. So when I have those ready, I will announce that through Twitter and Facebook. And when I can find a site to be able to ship them out to people and you guys can order them, I would love to be able to send some OSR equipment to everybody. And heck, even maybe I can get in with Rick. We can start shipping out some ExtremeMotorsports99.com stuff through there as well.
Oh, absolutely. And I tell you what, hit this action up here, man, nonetheless, has got hot and heavy. But, hey, look who is a man out front. SRA himself, Delonte Ballard. And I tell you, haven't really gotten a good nickname to flow with him yet. But that's just something that just comes to me, you know. I just have to kind of just think about it. But nonetheless, this guy has done a tremendous job. He is right now out front. He knows last week, I tell you, him and Jake Nichols, they were battling hard. Got kind of, I think it was him or was it David Shutt? They kind of got into each other a little bit there, just battling hard and racing hard.
Well, I'm sorry. I was reading something in the chat there. What was the question? Who got into each other last week?
It was either Delonte or David last week that got into, well, I won't say got into, that's a harsh word to use. They were racing hard, and they both made contact, and Jake Nichols when he hit the wall last week at Phoenix.
I want to say that was Delonte, but I can't remember if I'm perfectly honest.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and watch the replay. But nonetheless,
yeah.
We all right. Pioneer just sent me a tweeter message. I like calling it tweeter. But it is Ethan, and I tell you, we're under caution right now. But nonetheless, Ethan, do me a favor. If you could, tweet me your address and all, and we'll definitely be able to shoot you. Or, heck, you could tweet it to Rick. Either way, now that we know who you are. Me. Yeah, either way, yeah, there you go. And we'll get that poster sent out to you. As all of you know, or most of you know, Rick only lives right down the road from me. So I always have to be on my P's and Q's because, heck, he could just show up at the doorstep at any time. But under caution here, did you see what happened out there under that caution there, Brian?
Brian?
Ryan.
Yeah, I thought you said Brian, but it was coming off of turn 2 on what was lap 87 for the number 9 car of Trevor Rapolo, who at the time was running 13th. Looks like maybe the 29 got a piece of the wall and they all stacked up, but we talked about a driver that didn't need a bad race. It was Rapolo, and when you see this crash, it didn't go well.
Oh, yeah, he looked, man, I tell you what, got in the right in the side there. The 29 of Matthew Wazenbach just happened so quick that was nothing that he could do. We're watching a replay of it and tore that car up. Now, the good news is hopefully he has a fast fix, but he is still in pit road, so I don't know why he wouldn't be using that fast fix.
I think he may have already at the beginning of this race. That is going to put him in 19th right now, and he has still got the potential to be passed by John Houston and Aiden Young. We mentioned that Trevor had won a race this season already, but he needs to stay in the top 20, and he was 14th in points when this race started.
Oh, man, I tell you what, well, and everybody's coming in, caution here to get some tires and fuel. Nonetheless, Tommy Amasti again stays out. Now, I'm showing him the leader. Did he get that bonus point this time?
I honestly don't know. I'll have to take a look.
No, it's scoring him right now as I'm showing him as the leader on my one chart. Obviously, my other chart's not, but
I'll give him credit for trying. He's working really hard. I'm trying to get a look to his right here on the start. No, he did not lead at the line that time again. Man. He just can't catch a break, and every time he tries, he keeps having to come back. He was actually behind some other lap cars that were ahead of him. He had to slow down, or otherwise he would have been black flagged. So he would have led a lap, but he just can't quite get there.
Yeah, just he's trying everything he can do to get that valuable bonus points because he knows he's right there on the bubble and needs them. And it's just, he's trying, folks. I got to give him 100% credit. Now, although he's trying, as long as he keeps running where he's at, he's in 12th right now. Could be a shakeup like you're talking. You know, Trevor Rapolo, even though being up where he is, it's going to hurt him a little bit. Bobby Chaney not being here. So he's got this race and Michigan in 2 weeks to get it done. So if he could come out of here with an awesome finish and then those other guys not show up in 2 weeks again, man, I tell you, he definitely could sneak up in there for the chase.
He definitely could, and obviously only being 1 point out right now, he's actually in this is how close it is. Tommy Amassi right now and Mike Rominger, if this race ended right this second, are tied.
Wow.
Because Tommy Amassi is now running ahead of Mike out on the racetrack. And Tommy still has that damage to his car, but if he could get that 1 point finish ahead of Mike Rominger, he puts himself 1 point ahead of Mike going into the final race before the chase. It is going to be down to the wire for those two. But I do have to say this. Wouldn't it be in somewhat a strange fashion to not have a past champion like Mike Rominger make this chase?
Yeah, I tell you what, you know, he had a tough season last season as the start of it, and he fired back towards the end. So he's doing it again this season, trying to play the consistency part here as we look to go back green flag racing here at Dover Downs International Speedway tonight. But you're right, Ryan. It would be a shame to see that, but that's the joys of the chase and the joys of what we come to see each and every week. The excitement of what Extreme Motorsports 99.com brings.
Yes, it is, and I can report this now officially. The number 9 car of Trevor Rapolo has disconnected. He will finish at worst if the 74 gets back out 22nd spot.
Ouch. Well, I'll tell you what, that don't bode well points-wise for him as we're about to get set to go back green flag racing here. And I like to say that pace car takes a hard left turn on the pit road and is going to send these monster machines a-flying here nonetheless. Nate hard charging Trito, I'll tell you what, he gets those heck of a charging starts. It's like he's the Energizer Bunny. He charges up and just fires out there up front. Nonetheless, look who is right behind him, door to door and wheel to wheel, the 54 and the 73. Those guys have no love lost as far as team goes, and they definitely know how to race each other.
Yes, they do, and obviously we know that they're decent, they're not decent, they're good friends outside of ExtremeMotorsports99.com, and these two have raced each other many, many times before, so we know that Delonte and Jake like bringing the best out of both of each other as they're both racing side by side here to try to catch Nate. Now, what Nate would honestly like to see would be to see those two get together, maybe spin out and relieve some of the pressure off the back of that 97 for a little while at least up here at the front.
Yeah, it is right now. Delonte falls back behind to Jake Nichols right there as they were side by side wheeling around this track, this 1 mile, monster mile, all Dover Downs, Delaware, folks, for ExtremeMotorsports99.com. And I tell you what, Jake knows, hey, look, Delonte will not give up in that Toyota. And the reason is he's like, look, y'all might be in the Fords, you might be solar flare, you might be flashing up everywhere in the solar system. But right now, I'm about to put the lights out on Jake Nichols Racing if I can get up there just a little closer.
Hashtag Joeisms to start my next statement. But also looking back, we mentioned earlier somebody had said that these SRA cars are starting to peek their way to the front. Tyler Ducharme, we've already made it noted, he cannot make the chase now by not having minimum starts. That does not mean Tyler can't win another race. And Tyler Ducharme has put that number 25 Chevrolet, that Pepsi Chevrolet, back up to the 4th spot behind his teammate Delonte Ballard. And not too far behind them is Justin Gable in that 13 Taylor Swift machine in the 7th spot. So those 3 SRA cars are still running near the front, and David Shutt finally got back, or is the first car currently 1 lap down. So what David would really like is to find a caution, and it may happen in front of him as the 8 car gets loose. Christopher Parkman, what a job saving that machine in turn 1 and 2.
Well, I'll tell you what, I want to go back there and see what you was talking about. I was up front watching here. You said the number 8 machine back there battling around with David Shutt and whatnot. Yeah, those guys, man, look, now, we ain't talked about all night long. The number 44 there, Bryant Ward, is in the mix there with the David Shutt and Mason Kane. I tell you what, Mason Kane has definitely done a tremendous job wheeling that cup machine. But we like to call Bryant Ward no fear tonight, not having the night he really wants. Maybe trying to take it a little easy, knowing that, hey, I'm in the chase, but right now he's sitting in 10th spot.
Yeah, I really think that Bryant's just kind of falling back tonight. If he's not having the night that he wants, hey, he's going to run where he needs to. He's not going to put himself in a position to get in a lot of trouble. Just run good, make it out of this race with the points that you need. You know that you're having a couple guys here that are not going to be able to continue in the race now, and a couple guys who have missed the race that were, in championship implication positions. So definitely good news for the 44 machine. And I'll tell you what, that 41 and the 32 of David Shutt and Mason Kane, the reason they are racing each other so hard is that is the battle for the lucky dog. They both want to get back on this lead lap and compete for the win.
Yes, they do. We do know that David Shutt, though, has already got a win here this season. He's pretty much in the chase here, but he would definitely still like, nonetheless, to show, hey, look, I got the power to do it. And he wants to get up there with his teammates there, Justin Gable, Delonte Ballard, and Tyler Ducharme, all those SRA machines up there. As we see Tyler Ducharme, now we know he's not pretty much, even though he's won a race, he can't do anything as far as the chase goes, but he's all over the back deck lid of Delonte. He could help his teammates out points-wise tonight.
Yes, he can. He can definitely help that 54 car. The 54 has already won a race, but every bonus point counts, and every win counts. And right now, no matter what happens going into the chase, Jake Nichols is going to be the points leader once the chase points reset from all the bonus points and the wins. So, by helping Delonte out, getting him up there, he might be able to help Delonte at least put himself into second in points instead of having one win, maybe have two.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, Tyler Ducharme running right behind the number 54s. Ooh, I tell you, that bump coming out of turn number 2, Ryan, will step those cars sideways and make it look like, I always like calling a drift car coming out there. Or, most notably, did you see the video today, folks? Iracing brought it out. They're coming out with the dirt series, and you're seeing some of the cars sliding around the dirt. So that is coming, folks, in a hurry. Just like we've got the leaders up here. Jake Nichols is all over the back deck lid there of the hard-charging Nate Treat. Now, he's sitting going, wait a minute. I have seen this movie and picture play out so many times, I can't just keep that guy behind me. What am I going to have to do? Lap 106 of 220 tonight.
Yeah, definitely starting to get into the mentality. What am I going to have to do to try to win this race? But I'm looking through the field, and I would like to point this out. The top 2 spots are the Solar Flare Racing team. In 3rd and 4th, we have the SRA Racing team. 5th and 6th, we've got another Solar Flare and then another SRA car. And then behind them, the 2 teammates of Jonathan Shipman and Mike Rominger, the oh boy, I think it's the Auto Racing Alliance team. I don't know why I'm forgetting their name, but I do know it usually.
Jonathan Shipman?
Yeah, Shipman and Rominger are both running 7th and 8th, and I can't think here their team name at the moment.
Well, you're right there, Ryan. That's somebody who's never really gotten to ask them their team name. Maybe. Hey, there's another question from somebody in the chat out there. The team name for Mike Rominger, Mr. Extreme, and Jonathan Kryptonite Shipman. We want to know what their team name is. And because we're drawing a blank up here.
I just remembered it. The Alliance Racing Group. That's what it was.
Ah, gotcha.
ARG Motorsports.
Sounds like an insurance company.
Yes, I knew it, and I couldn't think of it. I just drawn a blank, and the actual second that I tabbed out to go check TeamSpeak to see if I could find it, it hit me. It said Alliance Racing Group, and it was like someone told me in my ear, that's the name of it, you idiot. How could you forget?
Well, I tell you what, Nick Hunt hanging on to that 9th place. He's got no fear. Bryant Ward right there behind him. Good old Nick Hunt. But I tell you what, that is, I got to say it, that man is a true inspiration. If you ever get a chance to talk to him, he has been through so much in the past months or so that I tell you, it is amazing. He is still out here like he is, racing and being the way he is. And when I say been through so much, family and the passings and stuff that he has had, the tragedies, but yet he is still an uplifting person to talk to, and we always like to give him a hard time. Got that one hair flying in the wind out the side window, but tonight looking very good in that double O machine, Phoenix Society Chevrolet, running in the 9th spot.
Yes, he is, and I had the opportunity to ask Nick Hunt for advice the other night. I was looking for some advice on my race team to kind of deal with a small situation I have going on over there, and he was the first one I asked, mostly because I have so much respect for all the admins here, but I just felt like Nick might be able to point me in the right direction and just give me some useful advice, and I definitely got to thank him for that. He's definitely made what me and my team are going to have to discuss fairly shortly much easier to go into than it would have been without his help. So definitely, as you said, a very good inspiration here, especially for all these Cup and Xfinity and even the truck drivers.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, it's nonetheless, everybody knows, man, I like to stay humble, but I look at this man has been a humbling factor also here at ExtremeMotorsports99.com. Now, most notably, too, behind him, Jason Van Cleet. Talk to him. Well, I'll tell you what, he is turning up the wick tonight in that 22 Ford, as he is right now in 10th. He got by Bryant Ward, who was sitting in 10th, is now currently 11th. He's got Christopher Parkman. Just kind of going through this field a little bit here, Ryan, just as everybody's kind of spread out just a little bit, being very courteous, very patient, and some good racing. But I tell you what, David Schutt, the first man lap down, sitting in 14th. He is storming to the front there. He wants that lucky dog if there's another caution. Lap 16 of 220 tonight, 116 to 220 tonight at Dover Downs, Delaware, Dover International, folks. Extreme Motorsports 99. Ryan, I tell you, I am thankful for all these viewers out here. I look out in that chat, and it puts a big grin on my face. I'm thankful to have you up here in the booth with me each and every week, and we've got an exciting weeks to come and months to come here. OSR Network being formed up, website on its way online, simracingnetwork.com. Check us out. Want to appreciate Rick Donington for bringing the logo. Check that thing out. Don't have it on the screen here right now, but you can check us out on Facebook, OSR Network on Facebook, and Twitter, OSR Network. And also, Ryan, what's your Twitter?
My Twitter is at RDNation1328. I switched it this week to match my name here on YouTube and anywhere else that you guys can find me. You can also find me on Facebook at with the name Ryan Daniels. Obviously, if you guys are friends with Joe on there or anything like that, I'm in his mutual friends list, or I'm on his friends list, so you can find me there. I'm more than happy to always talk to you guys on there. Me and Mrs. Becky Sifford were talking last night. I was able to get her the link to tonight's race because she hit me up through Facebook. If you guys ever have any questions, want to know anything, my mailbox is always open. So please feel free to hit me up, and I can help you guys out as well. And I definitely appreciate all the fans. I appreciate it when I get messages from the fans on Facebook and here on YouTube and everything like that, just telling me how much they appreciate me and Joe's work up here. I mean, I got to give Joe the credit. I know he likes to stay very humble, and so don't I, but I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Joe and them. He gave me my start, and it's definitely nice to see that because of what Joe has helped me with, that I can give you guys something that you guys enjoy as well.
Well, I'll tell you what, I appreciate it, just as always. Appreciate all the viewers out there and all the leagues and all the owners. Again, like I say, hats off to every one of the admins here at ExtremeMotorsports99.com, because I tell you what, I've been in those shoes and I know what it's like. Those guys have their hands full when they have hard races. So far, everything's looking pretty clean. Don't know if any drivers, man, have upset or anything, but we have got, Ryan, I tell you, we call him hard charging for a reason, but he is running down Superman. He has grabbed a hold of that cape and trying to yank that thing off of it. It looks like Batman versus Superman out there. And nonetheless, we're going to flop it around and say Superman versus Hard Charger, because he is coming back on to that 73 and running him down. So what's going to happen when he gets to that bumper?
Oh, man, I mean, I really think that Nate Trito, he wants this win. If he can get back to that bumper, he's going to do all it takes to win. It's like we said, these guys, they may be teammates, but, Nate is full well aware of the fact that Jake has already won 4 times this year. It's Nate's turn in his mind. It has to be. At some point, you have to flick that switch and say, okay, it's my time now. And at some point, I really think it's going to come down to Nate may have to use the old bump and run to get around his teammate, and he's not going to care if he has to do that because it's time. It's go time.
Yes, it is. Right now, he is closing up on the back deck. And I tell you what, we're under lap 124 of 220. I love doing this right here. And most notably, haven't seen him in the chat tonight. Old Chris Harvey. That's our main guy. He usually doesn't miss him. Must be in the bed or something. But nonetheless, he loves seeing this. We're going to bring the speed cam here, Ryan, is what I like to call it. Let these folks out there hear what these guys are feeling inside those machines, the sounds, and just the excitement as is. So let's bring the speed cam up here and let y'all people hear what's going to happen on this track tonight. Oh, it seems like we're under caution, but folks, like I always like to say, if I don't get your blood pumping, nothing will. But Ryan, what'd you see right there on that caution?
I'm taking a look through the field, trying to see if I can see a car smoking, anything like that. It looks like the 88 has a little bit of damage, but I don't know if that was from this or not. I'm just trying to get a look for some smoke.
Yeah, I'll go back and click on the 88 just to see if maybe he got a piece of the action or close to it. Nonetheless, we'll see what happens here. It looks like no, he slows down, so not the 88.
Oh, it's the 4 car of Mike Rominger going into turn 1 on what is lap 127 for him.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, that, folks, that's some points implications right there. He needs to have a good finish.
I don't know what happened.
Well, I'm watching the replay right now, so let's watch and see and kind of get an idea of what happened here as he's running. He's out there just running by himself from what I can see. No one around him. I don't know if it's a case of he just went into that one turn and that bump here just got the car. Yeah, he just, it's in real life, the way that looks, Ryan, it looks like no brakes or a blown tire. That thing just stayed right and went straight to the wall, never turned to left. So, I don't know. Somebody in the chat, man, make sure to check on Mike. Make sure he's okay. He didn't fall out or something. But, yeah, that was strange. That car, a mechanical failure, blown tire, wheel misaligned or something is what threw that car straight into the wall there. Kind of unique thing to see.
Yeah, it actually, I was watching from the onboard. It looks like Mike just kind of ditched it into the wall, and I'm watching his car right now. It looks like he held the escape button to get out of his car, because normally on iRacing, the driver usually is simulated as being in there, but when you don't do that, it shows the car with an empty cockpit. So Mike may have had to step away. Maybe was just trying to ditch the car, stick it up in the wall, get out of the way. You know, just a quick emergency type deal. I don't know. I hope everything's okay, though, with the number 4 car.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, like I say, we'll just say a mechanical failure error on the car. It's just shot it up the track. Nonetheless, you know, we're not going to be like some real drivers. Hell, it ain't Goodyear's fault. But nonetheless, unique there. Number 4, now, that's going to be, I tell you what, if he can't get back out there running, that's going to be some implications there in the points for him, because he is sitting right there on that bubble spot. He's in, but he's one of those last ones right there in the back.
Yeah, it's very close, and that was huge for Mike Rominger, we might add, to have this happen, because, remember, he was only 1 point ahead of Tommy and Massey. He's not going to be a point ahead anymore.
Wow. I tell you, going into Michigan, folks, I'm going to have Ryan's brain a-smoking, because he's going to have so many number crunches going up there. I'm going to have that man have to have 10 calculators tapping away, and his fingers are going to be starting to look like a speed demon. Y'all watched Men in Black 2. You remember the guy in the post office when he opened up the machine. That dude just throwing the mail left and right. That's what Ryan's going to look like, tapping on the calculator come Michigan.
Yeah, I haven't done this much thinking since I was in high school, and that was like 4 years ago. So next week, I mean, I'm gonna be taking like Excedrin for migraine because I'm gonna be like, oh, too many thoughts.
Well, and that's 2 weeks away, so you get a week of rest.
That's right. Okay.
Yep, you get a week of rest and get to rest up. Nonetheless, lights off on the pace car. Going to send these machines. I tell you what, the man that I am most impressed with tonight so far, and I know a lot of his viewers are out there, Jonathan Kryptonite Shipman. Boy, he's not had the night he's wanted, but he is sitting right there in second spot to try to take this machine here home tonight.
Definitely is putting himself in a great spot. I was looking back through the chat just a little while ago, and I remember earlier we were talking about you wanted to find a nickname for Delonte Ballard. We missed this. Becky Sifford wrote in the chat, how about the Green Hornet?
We'll see how that fits him. We'll think on it. Lights off on the pace car heading in, but that's a good one there. And nonetheless, I tell you what, man, well, look at him right now. Jonathan Shipman just didn't get the start. And, man, he stacked up that outside lane, and Delonte Ballard was just knocking the rear end of him right there. As we see Tyler Ducharme jump in the second spot, that gave a huge jump for Jake Nichols. And caution is out. And I got a feeling that had to do from the start of the whole front row there getting stacked up, Ryan. But what did you see in the back?
Well, it all started with the number 8 car, and it's going to be coming to the start-finish line.
Christopher Partman, huh? Yeah, he's smoking
yes, sir.
bad. So let's, I got a bunch of cars. So what happened here that I saw up front, looked like Shipman was just, something happened, maybe out of gear, I don't know what, but didn't get started. And we see the 8 car, he is up there quite towards the front, and he's on the outside also. So, yeah, it just stacked up that top side. Yep, I mean, you see him going back. Oh, and actually, man, Tyler Sifford's got a lot of damage on his nose. And it looks like Nick Hunt spun his tires, and when he did, Mason Kane and Matthew Watzenbach, oh, man, Aiden Young just can't catch a break tonight, 27. But, yeah, looks like Nick Hunt spun his tires when he went. No harm, no foul, one of them racing-type incidents right there, folks. And it just goes to show you, that's why I call these cars the monster machines, because they are monsters to handle.
Yeah, just very, very tough night for all those guys. And I'm taking a look. You mentioned the front end of the 7 car. The rear of the 54 is also very tore up as well. What I went back and looked at the restart. What it looks like is maybe the 23 was trying to anticipate the start. Jake saw that, caught him off guard, knew he can't beat the leader of the line, played the restart, and because the 23 kind of jumped and everybody behind him also did, it just stacked everybody up, and that crash was always going to happen. Definitely a pile up at the start-finish line there, if I've seen one yet tonight, and what they call the accordion effect. Just one guy jumps, someone bumps into the back, and eventually it just all goes wrong.
Yeah, and it's a racing deal. We sit up here, we watch, and it's one of those things. Yeah, you're right. The back end of the 54 is crunched, front end of the 7, so it looks like it's just an accordion effect, like you said. So, no harm, no foul. Lap 134, 2:20 tonight. Let's get a quick race summary here tonight. As we see right now, race leader Jake Nichols, lap 133 is completed of 220. We've had 6 lead changes for 7 cautions. Not too bad for a 1 mile track here tonight, especially for these cars being what they are. And Ryan's out there telling his age already in the chat.
They asked when I graduated.
I hear you. Well, that's
you
okay.
always do this to me. You always make it seem like I'm just out talking about myself, and I'm not.
Okay, well, now don't start sounding like that, and we'll be okay.
He hurts my feelings, guys. This is what happens up here. They pick on me.
Yeah. Well, nonetheless, I tell you what, right now, it has been an exciting race so far. And the guys up front, I'm going to tell you what, Jake Nichols definitely, familiar sight, being up front like he always has been. But, nonetheless, he's got his hands full, and I think Tyler Ducharme could spoil the party. He's got his Pepsi machine and going, look, maybe if I pour a little bit of Pepsi on that solar flare machine, that'll knock the light off of it, and I'll be able to get up here and pass him. So we'll have to see. Don't count out the man in third place, though, the number 23, Kryptonite himself, Jonathan Shipman. He knows how to wheel a car, very aggressive driver, and will do what it takes if he's in the last spot the last time to get around any one of these two cats in front of him.
All these people don't cry.
Yeah,
That's funny to
I
me.
tell him all the time, man, he needs to, his voice, he needs to get that out of him.
Hey, I tell you guys, while the fake crying there was meant to sound like that, the mic usually is my downfall. And I know for a fact everyone out there says I have a lisp. I've heard that a million times. I don't. I can promise you, I don't have a lisp.
Unless he's sleeping. And he does a lot of sleeping. Yeah, darn kids. Look at Nicholas out there as a darn kid. Well, yeah. You know, I'm the old guy around here. But nonetheless, lights off on the pace car. We're about to set to send these machines flying around this 1 mile super, or I'm going to call it the little super speedway, because we got some high speeds here, Ryan. And this place definitely can jump out and bite you at any time. Miles the Monster right there lurking around every corner of this one here as the pace car is about to take that hard left turn on the pit road, send these machines again. Jake Nichols there, the Superman himself. Got Jonathan Shipman behind him, and I tell you what, look at Shipman this time. And again, didn't get that start, but I tell you what, Jake jumped out there. Let's see what Jonathan can do side by side there with Tyler Ducharme.
Yeah, it's side by side up there. Looks like the 25 might get the advantage, though, as they're coming off a turn 2. We know that momentum can work here up top, especially on the restarts. The 54 Delonte Ballard also going to follow in the tire tracks of his teammate in the 25, and the guy that was just looking to the inside of Mr. Popularity in that Taylor Swift machine is Justin Gable, looking to work his way into the top 5 as well.
Yes, he is. Right now, the damage looks like it might be hurting Tyler Sifford just a little bit. But I'll tell you what, look at the crossover move that Tyler Ducharme put on Jonathan Shipman there. Them guys are not giving an inch there. Nobody told them it was lap 138 to 220. Jake Nichols loving seeing this right now. Delonte Ballard does not know which way to go, high, low, in the middle, in the grass. He's like, man, look. But like you just said, he's got his teammate behind him there, Justin Gable. He is singing a new tune there with Tyler Swift all over his machine. And you know what? One thing about it is there ain't going to be no breakup tonight, because they are teammates and they're going to take it to the front.
Yeah, well, and actually just behind the number 7 is their other teammate, David Schutt. So now you have all 4 of the SRA cars running in the top 7, soon to be top 6 if David can make this move.
Yes, it does. Looks like that damage on the front side there. Mr. Popularity himself, Tyler Sifford, is hurting him just a little bit back there as David Nightmare himself comes flying up through there. You have got SRA sitting in 4th, 5th, and 6th, folks. They are coming to the front in a hurry, and I tell you what, actually, you got another SRA right there in 2nd. The only man separating them is Jonathan Kryptonite Shipman sitting in 3rd place. Jake Nichols is a man up there. It's about to be a feared man, because if he looks in his rearview mirror, he's going to be like, man, I need to get the heck out of Dodge or out of Dover 1, because I got SRA coming all over me. Where the heck is Trito and where the heck is Sifford? Because these guys are bringing it to the front.
Yeah, those guys just seem to have dropped off the face of the earth. What happened to those guys? Nate Trito is actually running now behind Tyler Sifford by about a second back, watching all this happen, and he's got to be screaming, no, don't let those SRA cars get up there, because all of them are going to be working together to try to help Delonte have a good run tonight. They know Justin Gable needs a win to make the chase right now. It's still possible he could. David's in. Jonathan's in. The only guy that from SRA that still can't make it is Tyler Ducharme, so he has nothing to lose by running in 2nd. Do you think those SRA guys could organize it to an extent to have that 13 try to get a win here tonight if they get the opportunity?
Well, right now he could. I mean, he could be the deciding factor here. And you talk about Nate Trito. He's got damage on the front, so evidently that accordion effect has hurt him. So 2 of the actual Jake Nichols Solar Flare Racing teammates Tyler Sifford and Nate Trito both look like a bunch of bulldogs with a punched-in nose right there. They're forwards. It's not slowing down Nate in one bit as he is trying to fire himself and get around Tyler Sifford here and get up there and break up this dominance that we're seeing up front of the SRA Motorsports guys. These dudes are definitely putting it to the wind.
And Nate Trito just crashed big time going into turn 1.
Oh, that is not what he wants to see. I'm going to tell you, wow.
It all started off at turn 4 as well, Joe, when you go to show the replay for this.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now for the folks out there who's heading off down into the turn. He's right behind Tyler Sifford. Man, he already had damage in the front side of that nose, folks. So he was already, damaged. And, yeah, just lost it. And nailed, and then got nailed again from behind. So here's the thing is, obviously he must not have used his fast fix because he still had damage. So if he can get that thing back there, hopefully he's still got a fast fix, get it repaired, and get this thing going. He didn't go a lap down, thankfully for that. But I tell you what, this is not what he wants to see. So from this race on, it's not going to let him pass the pace car, but he's going to be on the tail end of the lead lap. So he's not going to go a lap down. But if that thing blows up on him, that's not what he wants to see.
No, and if he doesn't have his fast repair for whatever reason, that's going to end the 97th night, basically. But I do agree. I do think he has it. I think he's going to stay out here. I don't understand why. I think he's on the lead lap, but...
He is on the lead lap. Yes, he's on the tail end of it. And actually his best bet right now, he could come in with those guys right there, but he'd probably put him a lap down, is to stay out like he's doing and come in the next time around in the pits here and get that thing repaired. So definitely that's a smart move, because if he'd have went in the first time when he wanted to, or when it said, it would have put him a lap down then. But or put him actually on the tail end of the lead lap, and then on the restart, guess what? He would have been in front of the leaders, and then obviously he would have needed another caution to get back around the field.
Right, but the only issue I'm seeing now is if he was already on the tail end of the lead lap, no matter what, when he comes in, those leaders are going to get by him while he's in the pit lane. So now he is going to go a lap down no matter what, I think. Unless he stays out completely.
We're going to wait to see, yeah. But I'm going to tell you what.
Oh, that engine just went, I think.
Well, I'm watching a little tattletale. That's what I was about to tell you. I'm watching that tattletale needle, and we're not seeing an RPM. It's gone. So he is coasting that thing around here. He's going to make it back to pit road very slowly, folks. But, man, that's not what he wants. Now, the good news, here's the good news to him. He's pretty much led... not quite all the laps, or most of them, but he has led laps to get bonus points here, so that has helped him. And I think he's still probably, what is he, 24 points ahead of 12th place, I think it is?
Nate Trito is all but locked in. All he really had to do was start this race, so, it's not too bad for him.
Well, we got one race to go, so I wouldn't say he's totally locked in now. If he goes back and can't get this thing back out here, which we'll know here in just a few seconds, if he can't get this thing back out there, and it does not look like he is fixing that car.
Oh, it's over. He disconnected.
Wow. So, with that, we're going to go ahead and let the drama roll, folks, because our man who was sitting the top points leader in the chase right now is out of the race already. I know he's going to be, disappointed and whatnot, but I know there's only 20-some cars here tonight, but even though it might not knock him out of the chase, he's definitely going to be way down there now, depending on where he finishes at here tonight, Ryan. But there's one more race, so that puts the pressure on him even that much more, because 2 races bad like that, even with 20 cars, let's say 20 cars show up at Michigan, hey, if he finishes 18th or 19th there, he might miss the chase.
Yeah, and it's heartbreaking for that 9-7 because we know how much he wanted it this week. Definitely the poor, definitely got to be frustrating. But I'll tell you who's actually going to be sweating bullets more now. Look at that leader, number 73, and I want you to take a look behind him and tell me what you see in common with all those cars that are starting to form up behind that 73 car now.
Well, I tell you what, he's got a Storm Hornet's nest behind him of SRA machinery right there. And the one lonely man there in Alliance Motorsports, Jonathan Kryptonite Shipman, which we already know we gave him that nickname because, hey, look, he's not going to help Jake. So it's definitely here as now green flag is in the air. Jake gets a good jump. Tyler's right there with him nonetheless. But, hey, tell you what, these guys now are going to form up. And now that David Schutt's there, are we going to see him power that car to the front?
Could very well see the 41 power his way to the front. Still got a little bit of right front damage on that Toyota, but the best looking SRA car all night to me has been the 25 of Tyler Ducharme, who has now worked his way into second as he actually gets a little loose in the middle of 3 and 4. He's still getting loose off of 2, and he's going to get turned.
Yes, he is. I'm going to tell you what, that right there, wow. I'm going to say that was no fault of Jonathan Shipman there. It basically was the fact that, like what you were saying as we're watching a replay, he just got loose, and that real estate closed in a hurry and nowhere to go for Jonathan right there. But that is an unfortunate, yeah, he's losing it. And got loose, slid up, got loose again. And when he got loose that second time, just came right up on the track, and Jonathan had nowhere to go. You know, looks like one of them racing deals to us, but obviously we let the admins take that into account on their own. Now, we know he's pretty much got a fast fix, so he definitely can get back out there. But right now, lap 153 of 220. Now, there's one SRA car down, and I tell you, Jake Nichols was probably going, maybe my new buddy behind me who was going into the pit. Wow, everybody behind Jake Nichols goes into the pits.
Except for one driver.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what, that might be smart for every one of those guys to do that, because that's going to put them on brand new tires, and will put, I know we just came in, but nonetheless, I mean, hey, it's a good call. I don't know.
I'm not sure, but I'll tell you what. You tell me a lot of things, and you tell me, hey, I'll tell you what. Well, I'm going to tell you something right now. Look at who's going to be on the outside of the 73 here on this next restart.
Yeah, it is right there. Justin Gable himself. He's got Tyler Swift out there who is playing an awesome tune for him tonight. There's no boyfriend breakup song happening here tonight, and he is definitely hoping that Tyler Swift ain't made an album about Dover Downs, Delaware, and Miles the Monster and him breaking up, because he would definitely love to have a relationship with that trophy here if he can get around Superman himself.
Yeah, and obviously a win would basically put the 13 into the chase, but I'm not sure where he is in the top 20 in points. Let me actually pull that up real quick, take a look, and let all these fans know what the implications of that would be, because obviously a win, and he could race his way in for sure. The 13 of Justin Gable. Let me take a look here. Position in the points.
Ryan's in his little book, folks.
Justin Gable is 16th in points right now.
So he would need a win. If he
won
and stayed up there in the top 20, he definitely can pull it off. He's in. Yep.
Yes.
So, not out of the question. Now, another guy that we're sitting here watching very closely, too, Trevor Rapolo, who unfortunately not had the night that he wants, sitting back in 21st. And but right now, your top guys, except for Justin Gable, are all pretty much in. Jake Nichols. Now, Tyler Sifford, we have talked about. Well, I guess I got to take that back. Tyler Sifford could have a bad night, but as of right now, if he sits where he is, he's going into Michigan in a good position to lock himself in the chase.
And I'll tell you, as far as the bubble race goes, this is what's basically happened now, okay? With Trevor Apollo being out of this race, Aiden Young being out of this race, and Mike Rominger being out of this race. Rapolo is going to have to go into next week trying to stay into the top 20. Tommy Amassi, who is still out there running and currently in the top 10, is going to go from being 1 point behind Mike Rominger to having an 8-point advantage over Mike Rominger, and Aiden Young is going to need all but a win to try to make his way in, as he was already 5 points behind Mike, which means he's going to be 6 behind Tommy.
All right, folks. I hope y'all got your recorder out. Did y'all get all that? Because I'm going to tell you what, that just hurt my head.
Point is that Tommy Amassi is the #1 leading bubble driver right now to try to race his way in. There's still guys that could fall out, and if Justin Gable locks in, that knocks out the 05.
Gotcha. Well, I tell you what, a lot of things could happen here at Miles the Monster. You're right, Justin. Is breeding cautions, and it's breeding cars out here tonight, and a lot of points and implications as we see the pace car heading off into turn number 3. Going to send these machines flying around here at Dover Downs, Delaware, Dover International Speedway. Lap 157 is going to be completed, folks. Pace car is in. Jake Nichols is going to take these machines roaring into turn number 1. He gets a heck of a start, as always, and he brings Mr. Popularity with him.
Very smart on the behalf of the 73, making sure his teammate was going to be the one that falls in the second to give him some time to hold back those SRA cars, as we already see them forming up. The 54 is going to get around the 13, and it looks like David Schutt's going to look to the inside of the 13 as well, with the 22 of Jason Van Cleek, who has worked his way up to the top 6 now. And
yes,
Alan Westman is in 7th.
Yeah, it is. I was noticing that too there, Ryan. Jason Van Cleek right there at 6. Tyler Ducharme, though, back in 7th. Don't count him out, but look at Delonte Ballard. He is all over the back end. He says, look, you might be Mr. Popularity, but, man, I am coming. And I'm going to tell you what, I am a fan person that loves to take Popularity out the back door. Right now, looking like he wants to get around at number 7. Now, this is what Jake wants. He wants the 7 to hold him up just a little bit, make it hard for him to get around. As look at the David Schutt and him both are just right there behind the number 7 machine.
Yeah, and actually, it may just be me, but it doesn't look like the 7's actually starting to catch Jake.
And it could be. I don't know if draft plays a factor here or whatnot, but you were right. It looks like right now. Now, David Schutt might be content right there, the ride behind the 7. If he sees him running down Jake Nichols up there, I don't know. Right now, it's a half-second distance between them. But at some point, that 54 machine's going to have to say, look, I have got to make a move. If I don't want to let that number 73 get too far out there, I won't be able to run him down as time is clicking away here, folks. Lap 161 to 220.
Yeah, time is starting to click out for these drivers, and obviously still a long way to go in this race, right around the 50-lap mark still to go. But 50 laps can fly here at the Monster Mile, and Jake is starting to be able to say now, at least in my opinion, that he may have the best car in the field now without the 97 being here for the remainder of the race. He may now have the class of the field, as he is definitely now pulling away from the 7 car.
Yeah, he is. Well, I tell you what, right there, Delonte Ballard did a heck of a driving job to hold on to that car. He almost ran over the number 7, but he held on to it. But now look at this, folks. We have got the 41, 54, and 25 SRA, and if Mr. Popularity looks in his back mirror and goes, guys, what? He's probably yelling at Jake up front, saying, hey, buddy, can you hold up a little bit and come back here? The SRA fellas back here are about to beat up all over my back end.
Yeah, they are. I mean, all 4 of those SRA cars. Oh, we got the 54 spinning. Did he save it?
Yes, he did. That was a tremendous driving job by the number 54 machine right there, folks. We saw it. He came off the turn, hit the hump there a little bit. Man, held on to that machine. That's a true driving job right there. Put on a clinic on how to put her car sideways and hold on to it. But nonetheless, up here up front for the second position, the number 41 says, hey, look, I'm about to give all your fan club a nightmare, because that's what they call me, Mr. Popularity. So, hey, I'm right here, and I'm going to try to take that second place.
Yeah, he is, and he's going to get help from the teammate of the 25, Tyler Ducharme, and not far behind is Justin Gable. And the 54, who just spun, is already catching back up to this group. What kind of car is that Toyota made out of?
Man, he's got a bullet inside that machine. SRA has found something this season, folks, at ExtremeMotorsports99.com. If you think last season was exciting, these guys have made it very interesting amongst the two teams there between Solar Flare Racing of Jake Nichols there and company, amongst others of David Delonte Ballard and David Shutt and company here for the SRA camp. These guys have come here and very hungry for wins and a championship, and are going, look, we're coming out of here. It might be a first here for Toyota also.
Yeah, it would. I mean, Toyota's only had so many wins here this season, and only had the one win last season. But it's been out of the SRA camp that both of those Toyotas have won, whether it's been the 41 or 54, and those two could definitely do it again here tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. And I tell you what, you're right. That 54 machine spun like he did, but he is back on a tear coming through there. I don't know what he's drinking, but whatever it is, it's definitely working. You've got Justin Gable sitting in fifth, Delonte Ballard in sixth, Mr. Popularity himself sitting there in fourth, David Shutt sitting in third as Tyler Descharme goes around him for the second place. And I tell you, Tyler Descharme might be the man for SRA that they're looking at going, look, go up there, spoil the party there, the number 73 machine, take this thing and help us out in the points chase here a little bit going into it.
That's for sure. You know, it's important to note that I guess the 25, he obviously had to use that faster pair after that most recent spin, but to come from the back of the field back to second already shows the quality car that 25 Pepsi machine is made out of for Tyler Ducharme tonight. Looking to back up what happened at Daytona. He may not be able to make the chase anymore, but he certainly wants to show, hey, I can still make victory lane.
Yeah, it is right now. I tell you what, Tyler Ducharme pulling away just a little bit from David right there. He's trying to run down that man up front. They let Jake Nichols get a little bit lead up there, a little bit comfortable. 50 laps to go this time by. Got a lot of time left, a lot of ways to do it. I tell you what, hey, what's going on, Tyler Hallman? He's out there in the chat. What's going on, Aiden? IU Dave out there in the chat, Nicholas, everyone out there. I tell you what, this is exciting. And like our old buddy out there, Chris, would say, man, the intensity level is about to skyrocket. And I always say, yeah, right past the moon, man, shooting to the sun. They're about to put it out. Nonetheless, it's going to be fitting because you got a solar flare up front. And they're going to say, look, we're heading to the sun. We're about to put your flare right on out. Boys, I'm telling you, these guys, nobody told them 48 to go. They think it's the last light every lap.
Yeah, they're just driving the wheels off of all these cars, but they know time is starting to become of the essence. You're either going to need cautions or you're going to need to get up there and try to just beat Jake flat out with speed. And it certainly looks like that's the idea for the SRA camp, is just to get up there and beat them on flat speed.
Well, I'll tell you what, that would be a very, very impressive thing to do. Not to say it can't be done, or nonetheless, but I'm going to tell you what, we know Jake Nichols is a pro-style driver, but we can't take anything away from the SRA camp either, because they studied under him, they studied with him, and was side by side in the pro-style series there. Might not have made the final cut on it, but hey, nonetheless, they know all the tricks and all the things to get it done here, and tonight they are showing it. We just saw the 54 machine a little bit ago, Ryan, drive the wheels off that machine, and is still back up in sixth spot right now.
Yeah, he's certainly running very hard back there in sixth. Is Delonte Ballard really pushing that Toyota for all he can, trying to catch up to his teammate Justin Gable. Definitely would have to say that spin probably took some damage on that 54's fresh tires. Because remember, the 25 and the 54 pitted at the same time. We see what the 25 is, and obviously with that small spin, we see how far back it is set to 54.
Yeah, it is right now. Looking back here a little further, as we're looking at seventh spot. Jonathan Shipman still hanging on there. Jason Van Cleek right there was in a good battle with a lap down car. John Houston, the number 88 machine, who is trying to come back up front a little bit. He's in 13th. First car that's 2 laps down, but Van Cleek sitting in 8th. He's got Alan Westman right there behind him in 9th, and good old Nick Hunt right there rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, good run by quite a few of these drivers. You take a look, obviously, Jason Van Cleek, he's still trying to race his way into the chase. All these other problems for other people tonight, making a good case to try to do so, is that 22 machine running in 8th spot. Alan Westman, haven't had a chance to really talk about him tonight, putting that OutlawLED.com Chevrolet in the top 10 as well. A good run for Alan, and just behind them, obviously, is you call him the old guy, one that one hair flapping in the wind there for Nick Hunt, trying to round out the top 10 for Law Dog Motorsports.
Yeah, he is right now, Law Dog, and he's definitely got the law book out and getting it done in 10th spot tonight, saying, look, I am law and order out here at Dover, and there ain't no monster going to come and tell me otherwise. Right now, looking very good in the 00, and right behind him, Bryant Ward is right there, a little bit off from him, though, sir, about, well, I'll say about 7, 8, 9 seconds or something like that behind him. And Tommy and Massey, we were talking about him earlier there, an eye on him because he definitely needs a good finish tonight. Man, right there, just what? I think he's the one right on outside the points.
Yeah, he was only 1 point out when we started tonight. Finds himself currently in 12th. That would put him 6 points ahead of Mike Rominger going into next week. Tommy just playing, you know what? I'll give him all the props in the world. If he makes this chase, it was by just being dang smart, just running each and every race to the best of his ability, pointed his way in that 05 machine, and has, even with all the damage he has just salvaged everything he could out of this race, and all he's got to do now is finish, and he's going to find himself currently in the chase, and Mike Rominger is going to find himself outside looking in. But going to the track where Mike Rominger just won that fun run a couple weeks ago, Mike might be a tough candidate to try to pick for a win next week and maybe just race his way into the chase on a win.
Well, absolutely. And I tell you what, as we go back up front here, Tyler Ducharme, folks, is running down Jake Nichols. I am watching the time here between those two. It was over 2 seconds. It is under 2 seconds now. He's got 38 laps to go. Now, I'm going to tell you what, you got Ford Chevy. That is an old battle right there that goes way back into the day. And then right behind them is the Toyota of David Shutt. So, nonetheless, they are teammates, two different manufacturers. But, hey, looking very good for Chevrolet here today. If he can run down that Ford up front, might break up that dominance a little bit.
Yeah, certainly trying to get up there and try to break up that Ford dominance, as we saw that the 05 of Tommy Massey also went a lap down just a few moments ago, and now it looks like Tyler Ducharme is going to try to find his way around the 05 as well.
Yeah, it is. Well, right now you said that Tommy Massey, he's playing it smart. He's in it for the points here, for the long haul. That's the best way he could put it. And I tell you what, right now, as we're looking, Mr. Popularity himself, Tyler Sifford, running in the 4th spot. He's got Justin Gable right there. If he looks in his rearview mirror, he might get a little distracted from the Taylor Swift on the hood and go, huh. But then again, old Spike out here might get a little jealous out here looking at Taylor Swift, excuse me.
Yeah, you've been saying Tyler Swift this whole race. It's pretty impressive, but I'll take it anyway. But yeah, I mean, you know, that Taylor Swift machine is certainly shown to be strong tonight. Number 13 putting in a strong performance. Heck, he could even probably still try to make the chase. I haven't done the point calculations for some of these guys outside of the top maybe 15. I didn't realize even that Justin was in 16th. A top 5 run like this with all the issues with the bubble drivers that have been having in front of him, he may just be able to try to point his way in next week as well.
I tell you what, Michigan is going to be a place that's going to be very interesting. One, that track brings speeds, folks, of 206 to 207 a mile an hour, and that's not a super speedway track. It's just that darn fast. But then again, it's also a very slick and a very driver challenging track. Also, let me go ahead and throw this out. I got an inside here that says, you know, we got Week 13 coming up next week for Iracing, Ryan. And as always, they do updates. And the update is what I've been hearing through the grapevine and whatnot, is that these cars will get even less downforce than what they've got. So if you think they're slick now and eel-handling monsters, wait till we take them to a high bank fast, open, non-restricted plated track like Michigan, where speeds there can get upwards of 206, 208 mile an hour, and you got to bring it down in the turns all the way down to like 175 mile an hour. Folks, that's what I just said. That's like a 40-some, almost 50 mile an hour drop that you got to take it going into a turn with a car that's going to have less downforce going into the turn. So, going to be a driver's track and could be very interesting going in for the last race before the chase.
Definitely could be, but I mean, I got to tell you, that's not something that I'm happy to hear. Unfortunately, I mean, you talked about we talked about the other night. You were congratulating me on Sunday for winning that NIS race at Daytona last week. I am trying to run the NIS in my division for it, and a looser cup car than what there already is not something I'm happy to hear about. As Justin Gable was in the pits and the caution just came out, I don't think Justin went a lap down, and as a matter of fact, if he can beat the 73 off the pit lane, he just does. The 13 is going to be the leader here on the restart.
Wow. What did we see on that caution there?
I got to take a look. I was riding on board the 13. Let me see if I can't find it here for us. Some torn up race cars sitting in the pit lane. See what I can find here. There's only so many cars on the track. Oh, it was Tyler Sifford.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. We don't want to say that too loud.
Tyler Sifford coming through 3 and 4, I want to say, on 191.
Yeah, watching the replay right now. He's just out there riding along. I know he had a lot of damage in there. Hopefully he hasn't used that fast fix. But I tell you what, Delonte Ballard came up very close. And there was no contact. But I'm gonna go back and go from a different angle here in just a second. Because I'm gonna let it go back here. I'm gonna go back for a different angle here just for a second. Because I'm gonna tell you what, this almost looked like the real Daytona. Ooh, hell yeah, there was a little bit of contact. I don't know if Sifford was checking up in the turn because Delonte came up there bad fast. So I don't know if it was just he was coming into the pits and just didn't get slowed down. I have no clue.
I don't know. That was through 1 and 2 that happened, so I can't imagine that the 7 would have been prepping to come to the pit that early. I just wonder, did the 54 just get such a run and the 7 car had to check up and just didn't have time to react?
Yeah, that's what it looked like, because 54 came up there and was just full blast, and the 7 just looked like he was coming down. Nonetheless, man, unfortunate set circumstances there for the number 7 machine. And yeah, Becky, I figured she just said, no! They're out there yelling. They don't like that one. But, yeah, well, from the angle I looked the first time, looked like a net code, but I looked at the other one. There's a little bit of bump right there, but, oh well. As it's new tires versus old. Yeah, you're right, so... you're right, guys. That is what I've heard. The lower downforce for these cars. So, if you think these things are eel handling beasts now, wait till you get a lot less downforce on the back end of these machines, and that's just going to bring out the drivers. Can you drive a slick, loose car? And some guys can, some guys can't. I don't particularly like it myself, but nonetheless, hey. It is what it is. Well, Michael, I tell you what, we stay unbiased here, and we let the admins kind of point it out. But, we did see him come up very fast there, and we don't know what was going through the minds in the car.
Yeah, the only thing I could even maybe attribute it to were those two anywhere near each other initially when the 54 spun earlier, but... To me, it just looked like in that incident the 54 got loose, so I can't imagine that was retaliation, and I don't think that Delonte Ballard races that way.
Say that word.
Well, I'm just saying I don't think that the 54 races that way at all, so I can't imagine that would even be a possibility necessarily in that situation.
Yeah, we ain't even going to speculate with that. Nonetheless, man, we're sitting here 26 laps to go, and yes, folks, since I've been waiting on my cookies from Becky and Tyler to win, I had to go out and buy me some Oreos, so I was eating on one of them just a second ago.
You're lucky. You have all kinds of sweets at your house. My mom and my sister are dieting, so all I have is Powerade.
Well, I gave up on dieting kind of a long time ago, so it's see what I can eat. But you know what? I noticed something. Look at that number 41 machine, David. The damage is gone. He still had his fast fix and was holding on to it. Now, as fast as he was running with the damage, he doesn't have any damage with 25 laps here. We're going to have 24 to go as they get the green flag. What's he going to be like now, Ryan?
That car is going to be like it is going to be shot out of a cannon, in my opinion, because we saw David was fast with damage. Without it, now I would say he's going to have something for Jake Nichols.
Yes, sir. I'll tell you what, right now, sitting in third, pace car is going to take a hard left turn on the pit road, send these monster machines are flying, and that man in third place is about to say, look, I'm going to give all you fellas a nightmare up there that you'll never forget as we get to go set here. Green flag, Jake Nichols timed that beautifully, folks, right there. Tyler, look at that, Tyler Sifford trying to push Tyler Descharme. And look at the block there that Tyler says, you're not getting away from me that easily. Jake, I was running you down first before there. And I tell you, right now, the biggest help to Jake Nichols, and I tell you, David Shutt is not going to sit behind Tyler Sifford for long. Look at the run, and he's in the wall.
Yeah, he is. Got a little bit of a piece of the wall there. Was able to hang on to it, though. No caution.
Well, my hat's off to that man because obviously he is definitely a heck of a lot faster, or was a lot faster than Tyler Sifford there. But and had all intents and purposes, he could have ran him over, but did not. I mean, you know, it was clear as day. He was pulling right up there on him and ran that car right up the wall into the wall that we saw. So, and it might have hurt the car just a little bit there. So. My hat's off to him for driving that way, driving it hard, but again, not getting into the back end of the number 7 machine.
Yeah, definitely a good job there. Just great save by all those guys, and a good way to react too, to not bring out a caution there.
No, it was. I tell you what, and Tyler Descharme, I think Jake Nichols has probably turned the wick up just a little bit because he knows that man behind him with 21 laps to go was running him down towards the end of that run. So he's like, man, I need to get out there. Right now he's got a 0.6 second lead over the man in the number 25 machine and looking like a good one. Now, Tyler Sifford right there in third. This would be a heck of a points day, and it's been a heck of a race here so far. I'm not taking anything away, but I tell you, that 41 might try to get another run on him and get back up there and try to get around him if he can.
He could. Now, here's the thing I'm questioning. What happens if the 25 catches the 73 and they get side by side? Now, we saw last year it was the front two cars that crashed late in the race that propelled Jake Nichols to the win. Could tonight be the night that Tyler Sifford breaks through, and could something happen like that again here?
Well, you know, and you also got to look here as we're watching, you know, David Shutt. He's wheeling that machine, coming off the turn sideways a lot. You also got to look at the fact Jake Nichols is locked no matter what in the chase. He looks at the big picture. Very smart, very calculated style driver. If the 25 gets up there, do you think maybe he goes, I know he's a competitor and all that, but do you think that he goes, you know what? Is it worth me wrecking my car, tearing it up, and taking half the field out here and whatnot? Or do I just let the 25 go and come out of here with a good finish? You know, again, it's hearsay. Who knows? I mean, at this point.
To be honest, though, looking at that racer mentality that Jake has, there's no way he's just going to let the 25 get by him here, especially late in the race. Jake wants this win just as bad as anybody else. When you lead all the laps that he has, he's not just going to say, oh, here comes the 25, I'm just going to kind of move out of the way. Because, he, like you say, yes, he could have the mentality, I'm not going to tear up my car, but he could also have the mentality, and this is the one I think he may have, is I have 4 wins already. I'm in no matter what.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what I'm saying is he has 4 wins. He's in, which actually right now it might be a mute point because he is pulling away in a hurry from the number 25. So if the 25 machine with 15 laps to go doesn't start doing something and doing it fast, and I think he's doing everything that he can to maybe run down that man up there. If he gets too far ahead of him, like I say, it might all be a mute point here. He won't be able to do it, but Jake's in no matter what. We know that. So Tyler Sifford right now holding on to that 3rd spot. He's the one in this group here that definitely will benefit from a good finish, Ryan, being in 26th spot. And I appreciate that, Holman out there, 28 viewers. I mean, you know, hey, again, real quick, Want to appreciate all the viewers and all the fans, all the drivers and the leagues for everything you do, coming in and watch, because these guys putting on a show here tonight, and it has been one heck of a show here at Dover. And heading off, we got one race after this one left before the chase starts, Ryan, and it's about to heat up.
Yeah, it is. The action is intensifying as we get closer and closer to the chase. We've got the one official race left, as well as our fun run next week, and then the final 5 races. It's from there to the end, and we're going to have to see what these boys can do. I feel like it's going to be a lot of fun in the final month of the season, and going to be a lot of good things going on, not only for us here at OSR Network and all the guys at Extreme, but some very special things going on for me as well in the truck series, obviously, when we get into the month of April. So very excited for the future and of not just OSR, but just the upcoming months as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell you what, right now, I mean, it's going to be interesting here, as we got also mentioned that first race in the chase, Talladega. It's a nail biter right there. Anybody's ball game, and I love saying it. It's which now it might be a little bit different with the less downforce package. It's definitely not going to be like what Michigan's going to be like, where, like I just said, a low downforce 207 mile an hour without restrictor plates, taking it all the way in the turn to where you got to come all the way down to 170 something mile an hour. As Talladega's flat out. It's wheel to wheel and door to door there, flat out. You got to make the right moves at the right time, avoid the big one, so to speak, and be there at the end on that race. So, first race of the chase going to be interesting.
Yeah, that one's going to be a nail biter. Last year we had the closest finish, I believe, in ExtremeMotorsports99.com history at that track, when Brian Frick was able to pick up the win at Talladega by just 2/1000ths over a second over Jake Nichols. So Jake looking to be on the other side of that 2/1000ths this time if he can do that when we roll into Talladega.
Yeah, it is. Right now, the first 2 cars a lap down would be Justin Gable and Delonte Ballard. Those 2 machines, even though they're teammates, they're wheeling the machines around and having a heck of a battle going on as we watch it. That is for 9th and 10th. And Delonte hits the wall again.
Yeah, I saw that. Delonte got a piece of that wall again there. He's all the way falling all the way back to the 10th spot now. As you said, a lap down. And Justin Gable, I really thought that he beat that pace car, beat Jake out of the pits when he pitted under that last caution. Iracing did not give him that. That's why he's been stuck a lap down. Really felt like that 13 car could have competed for this win, but it's just not going to happen tonight. And now we're inside that point where the next caution is going to end this race. Jake Nichols is going to take the laps 4 to go here this time by.
Yes, he is. And with 4 laps to go this time by, as we got 8 cars here on the lead lap, and sitting in the 8th spot, that would be Bryant No Fear Ward. I tell you what, he's done what he needs to do to signify and stay here in the chase if he can, as I think he is in the chase if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Bryant Ward is currently in the points championship. He's currently in the chase on points, as is now Tommy Amassi will be. Jason Van Cleek has helped his cause here tonight. Justin Gable's helped his cause with a good run. Nick Hunt's run good tonight. A lot of these guys, even Jonathan Shipman has run good tonight, as he's currently running in the 5th spot, while a few other drivers like Mike Rominger, obviously Bobby Chaney not being here, Aiden Young, Trevor Rapolo, guys like that, Nate Trito even, that needed a good run tonight, who are going to get DNFs or did not starts as well. And that is going to definitely play into the hands of some of these guys next week as they try to race their way into the chase.
Well, absolutely. And tell you what, the man who's had the most disappointing night here tonight's got to be the man hard charging Nate Trito. Currently, right now, is going to sit in the 17th spot. Going to take a hit in points. Maybe not as bad as it could have been as we come to the last lap this time around, folks. Here, Jake Nichols is out there. He's got almost a 1.8 second lead on the second place man here, folks, as he comes around for the final time here. And I believe that's going to do it right here. He has done it tonight. Win number 5 for the Superman, and Tyler Descharme is going to bring it in second. And David Schutt's going to round out in the top 3. So the SRA boys did make it second, third.
Yeah, good run by the SRA team there, bringing home second and third. I know they were looking for a little bit more with their teammates having been up there earlier, but how about that for the number 73, number 5 this season? He had 8 last year. Definitely not unconceivable that 70. He had 10 last year. I'm sorry. I'm thinking 8 in the regular season. My apologies. Definitely not inconceivable. Still, though, the 73 couldn't tie that this year. Only got half of what he had last year to this point now. But definitely possible that Jake Nichols could still get those 10 wins and maybe do something that not only has never been done, but he did something last year that couldn't be done. If he could even get close to repeating it this year, you might be talking about Jake Nichols being the greatest Extreme Motorsports 99.com Cup Series driver of all time.
Well, I'll tell you what, you don't make the pro level for nothing, and nonetheless, but tonight, I tell you, he had brought it home here. He led 124 laps, started 6th tonight, brought it home at Dover Downs, is going to bring that trophy here. But Tyler DeSharm and David Shutt did everything they could in the SRA machines. Now, Tyler Sifford right there in 4th, Mr. Popularity himself. So, if I want to, Ryan, I'll tell you what, if you want to go ahead and bring up, I guess we'd bring up David Shutt and Tyler DeSharm up in the staging room there. We'll get an interview with these boys.
All right, let me go find David Shutt down here.
While you're doing that, I want to remind Pioneer out there, remember Pioneer, send me your address and your name and all, because you're the winner tonight of the poster here giveaway. He actually got the answer right, folks, earlier on of when, at what month and what year ExtremeMotorsports99.com was founded and started. And the man out there, Pioneer, whether it be, I believe it was Ethan Kurtz, I believe his name is answered that very quickly, nonetheless. So he's got that awesome ExtremeMotorsports99.com poster, and I'm already jealous. So I tell you what, but yeah, nonetheless, Pioneer, definitely send me that and a message. And I want to appreciate all the viewers, and as we're watching here, watching old Jake Nichols right there, he's going backwards. So anyways, you want to go ahead and bring on David Shutt up here, Ryan?
Yes, sir. David Shutt, this is Ryan Daniels up in the OSR booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, a great run tonight by that number 41 Toyota Camry of yours. Started near the rear of the field, came home third. Got to feel pretty good to come out of here with a top 3 as we get closer to the chase.
Yeah, it feels okay, but I'm still behind the guy that I want to beat, so I got to figure out some way to get ahead of him. Otherwise, it's going to be definitely pretty difficult to win a championship. But yeah, good finish. I'm already in the chase, so I'm really just racing for wins right now. But yeah, looking forward to next week.
For sure. Obviously, 2 weeks from now, we're going to have our final race at for the regular season at Michigan International Speedway. Do you think you'll be able to bring the top Toyota to the table here as we go to Michigan, or how do you feel that your chances will be next week?
Yeah, I feel definitely I'm a top 5 probably driver in this series here. So I just gotta concentrate, saving my tires and figuring out a way to beat Nichols. That's my main concern right now.
All right, good deal. Well, we thank you for coming up here and talking with us. Is there anybody out there you want to thank for a really good top 3 finish tonight?
I'd like to thank everybody out at SRA, Bobby Cheney, Matt Simpson, and all my teammates here, Delonte, Justin Gable, and Tyler DeSharm. It was a pretty good run for us tonight. A couple of us ran into some issues, but good to see all of us running well.
All right. Well, we thank you again for coming up here and talking with us, and we wish you luck in the next 2 weeks when you guys head to Michigan, and we hope you have a good night.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ryan, right there, you can hear maybe a little bit of disappointment in his voice, but I don't really think he has a lot to be disappointed. He understands he's in the chase. He would really like to win another race, but I tell you, I don't know. Driver's mentality, like you said, is if you bring if I wanted to win, I would want to win in the chase. So nonetheless, good finish for third for him tonight. But his teammate, Tyler Descharme, bring him up here, finishing in second tonight.
Alrighty. Tyler Ducharme, this is Ryan Daniels up in the OSR booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, we're missing you over the past number of weeks. You hadn't been here at Extreme, but definitely you came back this week, showed you hadn't lost any steps. Good run tonight for that number 25 Pepsi Chevrolet coming home in second. How does it feel to bring that car home in second after the absence here from Extreme?
Yeah, it feels good to know we haven't really lost anything. I really haven't done any racing in the last 4 or 5 weeks, so it's just took a little break. And you know, I think we had some for Jake. I think it was stay green there. I mean, we had run him down 3 seconds back and got within half a second, and then that caution came out. And I really didn't like it. I wasn't very good in short runs. I had about 10-15 laps. Cars started coming around to him, and I could get to him, but just really nothing I can control there. But you know, I guess solid return.
Well, definitely a solid return in my opinion. They're bringing that machine home in second. The whole SRA team tonight seemed to be running pretty good. All you guys at one point were in the top 5. Any comments on that? Just by a good a team run there?
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't think we had the raw outright speed as those other 2 cars, Jake and Nate, but we were just as fast, if not faster, than all of them in the long run there, and it showed that one run we had there. And just unfortunate it had to end with a short run there, but you know, come back next week and try to get them.
All right. Well, we definitely wish you luck when you guys head to Michigan in 2 weeks from now. Is there anybody out there you want to thank for such a good run tonight in your return to the number 25 machine?
Thank everyone here at Extreme Motorsports for running an awesome league. Bobby Cheney, team owner, for riding this very competitive race cars, and you guys for doing all the broadcasts.
All right. Well, thank you again for coming up here and talking with us, and we wish you luck in 2 weeks when you guys head to Michigan International Speedway, and congrats to you and that whole SRA team.
All right. Thanks, man.
No problem.
Well, I tell you what, Ryan, I'm going to head off down here into the Victory Lane, as I like to normally do here. And on my way by, I'm going to jump past the concession stand, grab me a hot dog, because I know all the other teammates down there with Jake Nichols and all, they're going to be partying. So, hey, why not? So, as we head off down here, bring old Jake Nichols up here, because he's the winner tonight at Dover International Speedway.
How's it going?
Jake, I tell you what, it's Joe White up here in the booth, and I tell you, man, as I come down here, you got your confetti flying and everything going. I mean, it's a familiar sight here. You had the cape of flying there, but I tell you, at times, the SRA bunch behind you definitely looked like they were bad, fast, and coming for the Solar Flare racing team.
Yeah, they were fast. We had a lot of speed in our cars this week. Feel for Nate. Both races this week at Dover, he made a little mistake speeding in the pits, trying to edge someone out both races, and last night he got away and got second, but tonight it didn't go well for him. Sifford thankfully managed to finish good after getting wrecked there late, but our car was amazing. Handled great all race. Here and there it'd be a little tight. That second to last run we were a little too tight for our liking, but it really handled perfect in that last run to just set sail and take the checkered flag today.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, you had a heck of a darn machine out there. Nate Trito was up there in front. Unfortunate what happened on his end there. Got a little stacked up there on the one restart, then lost it and hit it the wall, and motor just went away. But nonetheless, you brought it home for the 5th win this season. You definitely locked in the chase. We've got one more race to go. Michigan, very tricky track, very fast track heading into that one. But got anybody out there you want to thank for tonight's win?
Everyone at Solar Flare Racing, Ford, Horton Designs for this amazing car. OSR, got you guys on the quarter panel now. So I'm taking you guys on the trip every week. Just everyone in the league we had a great race tonight. Limited cautions. I don't even know how much exactly, but it wasn't many. got a lot of green flag runs in there. Everyone at Extreme Motorsports 99, incredible league, always great racing. Just looking forward to next week. I love Michigan, and then we head to the Chase and give it our all for every single race.
Oh, absolutely. And I tell you what, that first race in the Chase at Talladega, and that's definitely anybody's ball game. But nonetheless, tonight at Dover, you horsed that trophy up. Miles the Monster didn't step out and bite you here, and you had definitely won it all. So for the 5th win tonight, my hat's off to you, and congratulations to Jake Superman Nichols, folks, for the win.
Thank you.
All right, well, Ryan, I tell you, this was a heck of an exciting race. Had a lot of things been happen, a lot of things, drama here and there, and a lot of implications in the points that we're looking at here in 2 weeks as we go into Michigan. These guys are definitely going to be on the edge of their seats. I mean, you know, it's going to be hard. Who knows, you know, what's going to happen going into Michigan. As we do know one thing, Jake Nichols and company, they definitely, man, are bad fast.
Yeah, they're still showing that Solar Flare team has lost nothing. I mean, they're on top of their game right now. They have been all season, every one of them. Whether it's Jake just winning these races, or Nate having the runs he is, even Tyler Sifford running very well, you know, and even Dwayne Culberson has shown signs every few weeks, you know, that he's up there with them. Unfortunately, Dwayne was not here tonight either, but you know, just a good run by Solar Flare Racing. They're doing a very good job, but SRA is bringing the fight to them, and I really think, personally, we know that Bobby Chaney is going to now have to race his way in basically next week, or is at least at risk of having to race his way into the Chase in 2 weeks' time at Michigan. But it isn't impossible that the points racing that the SRA team is doing couldn't win them the championship as well. Because, I mean, you look at the finishing order tonight, again, 2 of the 4 SRA cars that are here finished in the top 3, and that's not the first time that we've seen 2 or more of them finish in the top 5 this season.
Well, absolutely. Let's get a quick results rundown right here. Tonight's winner, Jake Nichols here at Dover International Speedway. Tyler Descharme right there in second. David Shutt in third. Tyler Sifford in fourth. Jonathan Shipman in fifth. Alan Westman right there in sixth. Nick Cunt in seventh. Bryant Ward in eighth. Justin Gable in ninth. And Delonte Ballard right there in 10th. Don't know if you still got your results up or not, Ryan.
Yes, I do. And in the 11th spot, a man who is trying to race his way into the Chase, Jason Van Cleek, got that 22 machine home in that 11th spot. Tommy Amassi did a great job tonight, salvaging points, gets top 12 tonight. John Houston's going to bring it home in 13th. Michael R. Miller is going to bring it home in 14th. Christopher Parkman, after all the trouble he had in this race, is going to finish in 15th, 60 laps down. Matt Walzenbach is going to bring it home in 16th. Nate Trito in 17th. Mason Kane 18th. Mike Romancher, after his crash, 19th. And rounding out the top 20 is Aiden Young, 94 laps down in 20th spot.
I'll tell you what, 21st right there, unfortunate for Trevor Rapolo and Vern Bradley, 22nd. Nathan Shiflett in 23rd, and Christopher Hurlow rounds out the top 24. Well, folks, I tell you, it was drama, excitement, and we head here in 2 weeks. We're off next week. I had a fun run going to happen here for ExtremeMotorsports99.com. And I tell you, for Joe White up here in the booth, and with my buddy here, Ryan W. Daniels, as always, check us out, OSR Network on YouTube. This has been a thrilling race, Ryan, at Dover. And any last words?
Yeah, just want to thank the fans. Want to congratulate Ethan Kurtz on winning that poster from ExtremeMotorsports99.com. And like we mentioned before, or at least I mentioned before, going to start working on that page for some merchandise, at least for OSR here. And I did see a request for a hashtag Joeisms hat. I might just have to make that work. So we'll see what we can do, and when I have the updates on that, I will definitely be posting it on Facebook, Twitter, and everywhere else, and you guys will be the first to know, because we'll be here each and every week for ExtremeMotorsports99.com.
Oh, absolutely. So from all of us up here, man, at OSR Network booth, and for all the fans and the drivers out there for ExtremeMotorsports99.com, we wish everyone to see you here in 2 weeks. Have a good night.